expect
Get your
any
pen and paper
interaction
out.
from me.
Expect shit notes next week. Okay, it
I
looks like we're on.
like Vice's notes. They're always funny. They're always sort of a bit
Are
backwards.
they? Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, and then we went and did this. But before that, we did this.
Hello, stream.
Hello,
Stream. Hello.
Yep, we're doing that thing.
Hi, stream.
Welcome to Bela'Dun
Hi.
and beyond.
Meow.
Sevi/Livia will be doing our recap. Ah, fuck, I forgot to get music again.
Ah, la, 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 la.
Feel free to recap away. Preferably not through the medium of
Recapping-
song.
Oh wait, that's
Please,
rude.
through the medium of song. Please.
No. We continue searching in the fog, but after numerous attempts to... This is where we finished. Yeah, complete the ritual. Yeah, it is. But after numerous attempts to follow the wind using a number of torches, and after a full day, we don't really make much headway. I use a spell at some point outside of the forest wall and the fog, but we can't seem to get there. I also send a message to my father to ask for help and see if he knows more. Nemea becomes best friends with the tree after having a staring competition with it. The fire ends up showing us back to the tree, and Nemea realizes it's her same favorite tree. Taryn ends up speaking to it, and I end up revealing that it's a creature and not a tree. It erupts into a fight, and two others also appear. We fight reluctantly, well, some of us. We try to talk it down, but it doesn't work, and we end up fighting them until their death. Finally, the fog breaks, and we break through. We rest and recover, and spend the next week continuing on towards the lake. We arrive, and Aresia and I have a private conversation with a sneaking Vice earwigging in. It's slightly embarrassing and somewhat revealing. Aresia leaves to switch her part with Astaros and completes her ritual. Ta-da!
I didn't realise it was going to be
There
that
you go.
quick. I started trying to fix Adam's camera
I
in the
am a
meantime.
What's wrong with my camera? I'm watching the stream.
No,
Everything is fine.
it's not you doing anything wrong. It's that the width of the camera in Skype is slightly off, and as a result, the header of your webcam feed had a black line, like Max's still does. But I'll fix it later. For those of you that hate black lines, this ain't the one for you.
I hate black lines. Fix it now.
So,
Yeah.
as you guys ended last session, the final thing that happened before we wound down was that Aresia decided that given how long she had been away from the military and how long it had been since there was any sort of check-in with the main body, that she would return to the military instantaneously so that she could give a report and receive presumably follow-up orders. Unfortunately, the only way for her to do that was to use her locket that she has and swap places with Astaros, who, as far as we are all aware, or you are all aware, I don't really count. I mean, I know what's happening, so... he left Nemea in the forest, running away from many wood elves. That's basically all she told you. She didn't really make it overly clear as to whether or not this was like a forced exit for him, or whether or not it was his choice to simply up and leave. But currently, I believe we are... Well, we're in the clearing. Whether or not I still have the clearing, I don't. So we're going to stay on this map for a moment. My understanding is that Taryn was closest to Astaros,
Yes.
who will appear at the edge of the lake, and that Livia and everyone else's names, Nemea and Vice, were all sort of at the forest
Around.
edge, at the edge of the clearing into this open space, looking out into the forest, sort of wondering if anything's going to come their way. So, Taryn, I believe you started to say something to Astaros as he appeared
Yes.
at the end of last session, and you were definitely close enough to continue that, so it's entirely on you.
Very much.
So
Just as he
have I
appears.
appeared yet? Sorry.
Yeah, so
Have
you
I
basically just appeared.
Like
There
the
was
genie.
a bright light. It wasn't so much a puff of smoke.
Blue
It was
smoke.
kind of a bright light. You would have been in whatever orientation, standing, sitting, whatever that you were. You would have known that this was coming and had to have been willing, which means that you would have taken part in it yourself from your end. So it's not a surprise. You don't just get displaced. You have to agree to it mentally, essentially.
Sure. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just
So-
going back on. It's made for a child.
Taran would be walking up, arms
Oh, that's
crossed. Are you sitting or standing, or what are you precisely doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
So I'm going to
gross?
be getting up very slowly from the kind of the same cross-legged position that Arestia would have been in on the ground. So I'm going to just blink my eyes a couple of times. I've come from a very, very distant place. It's extremely disorientating being hurled hundreds of miles an hour through the air into a kind of a spiritual aspect, and I am quite old. So I'm going to look around, look at the lake, look at Taran, and then very slowly vomit.
Taran would just walk up quite slowly, arms crossed. You can look. There's like a look of almost resentment because he doesn't quite know what's happened, but there's a slight suspicion in his eyes, and he says, "Hi there. We have some questions for you."
General Kenobi.
Hello there.
Private
That's a Star Wars
Parvis.
reference.
I was watching on that earlier. Don't even...
Oh my god.
Private Parvis, I would need you to give me at least 5 minutes just to get my bearings physically, mentally, spiritually, intestinally. After 5 minutes, we can talk about anything you wish.
Mhm.
I'm just
I'll
going to
just
kind of lay
look over
backwards
towards-
slightly, avoiding the vomit, of course, just laying back and taking it all in.
Slowly flowing into the lake
I would
edge.
then turn around and just sort of signal over to Livia, if I possibly can, and just
Yeah.
sort of point and just be like,
It's uncertain as to whether or not Taran's telling you what went down with Asteros or just mocking you at this distance. You're quite far away across pretty much the entirety of the clearing. It's wider than it is long.
I got the vibe. Don't
So,
go
do I-
near them. So gross.
Just about the mechanics of blood teleportation. Do I know where I am? Do I innately know where Arestia has been, or is this kind of just woken up in a strange place?
You have woken up in a strange place.
Okay, can I inspect my surroundings?
Yeah, certainly. Roll investigation.
Yes.
No.
"Fuck you! No rolling."
Oh, no.
Wow, okay. 7.
Okay. So you find yourself in a large clearing in the woods. It is seemingly early on in the day. You knew what time it was when you kind of willed to accept this teleportation. And it, as far as you can tell, it hasn't changed. You can see the sky quite clearly. The trees of this part of the wood are much higher than the ones that you've seen recently when you were fleeing the forest to the south. And you assume from that you are far further into the wood than you were previously. It's otherwise a relatively peaceful enough... I think we're in spring. I haven't written it down. Let me just check the calendar.
We are. It's
yes.
the 7th of April.
No, it's not the 7th of April. It's the 12th
you
of
didn't
Zen.
suggest. April Fools.
So yeah, it's a sort of quite a warm-ish spring, late morning, and you find yourself somewhere in the forest, but not nearly as built up as you were previously, as it was previously.
Okay. Cool. But I don't recognize this area or anything.
You can certainly try and discern one tree from the other, like Nemea did.
Well, there's a big lake. I mean, that's the starting point.
You would assume from the big lake and the big clearing that the mission to go find a big clearing in the forest has garnered success, and that's why you are now here.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to just quickly mosey on over to the lake, not the bit that I sort of half threw up into. Just take a couple of handfuls of water, splash my face to
Vice, go
Wake
push
up.
him in.
and then I'm going to just turn to Taran and say,
You're on mute.
so, Max.
Not you, Adam. Max is on mute.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Every stream.
What are we 10 minutes in?
Just get out of the way. Get out of the way early.
Everyone.
No, my friend walked into the room, and I didn't want you to hear what he was saying. That's what it
Yep.
So
was.
rude.
But then he actually didn't say nothing when he walked in.
Don't worry, they
So,
can't hear your
it was
silence.
all-
I've muted it.
So I'm going to turn to Taran and just say, so the mission was a success then? This is where we make camp.
Well, it was definitely a pain in the ass, but yeah.
Very good. And everyone is okay? No injuries? Nothing of note?
I slip off my right glove and I just flaunt a very, very black hand.
This is my black hand now.
Like it is as dark as the abyss.
Hey, for everyone who wanted black lines, we got something new for you.
Hell yeah.
You see,
Oh, gosh.
I got our new patented black hand.
Asteros, you
Like the
see
Godfathers.
an
my
oddly
black
looking, almost midnight-y black hand about Taran's person with an odd linear cutoff. It's not like he's burnt it and then there's like a fade out of char marks. This goes to a point and then stops.
And I just sort of follow that with like, I'm fine, but that's the worst of it. And then I just plop my glove back on.
Well, I dare say we will try our best to rid you of that element, but if that is the worst that we've inflicted, then I suppose the mission was a success.
Yeah, I'll find some remover of curses, whatever. I don't.
Also, whilst we're on you, Asteros, can I get you to roll a d3, please?
Mm-hmm.
Teeth.
How do you even have a D3?
It's the worst. Well, this is roll 20, so normally you do a d4 minus 1, I suppose, but
I got a 3.
yep.
The
So
apex of the D3.
as a result of fleeing the woods and as a result of the extended time you spent running in armor, trying to get away from the people that were pursuing you at the time, you currently have 3 points of exhaustion.
Oh,
Ooh.
what?
Oof.
Having had basically no time to rest.
Who has 3 points
Yeah.
of exhaustion?
Me?
Asteros, whether or not they're going to come into play, I'm not certain, Asteros, so I won't go into the detail of what they do now. Just make a note of 3 points of exhaustion. If you still have them
Yep.
when something happens, then we will deal with it then.
Haha, I'll
Sure
remind you.
thing.
Especially
Those-
disadvantage with
Rest.
rolls because everyone forgets that whenever we have exhaustion. Everyone forgets.
Well, the only one that will count
Cool.
now is movement, I imagine. You'll be slow.
I guess we'll see.
Hmm. Okay, well, aside from your hand, where are the others?
I just turn around to try and sort of spot them. I don't know what they're doing right now, and I just sort of point general directions at people.
So at this
What's
point,
everyone doing?
yeah, at this point you can see that the width of the clearing is quite huge. It's definitely big enough to house the many tents and armaments of the forward Starvan military that have moved from Starvan with the intention of attacking the elves wherever they may be amidst this wood. In terms of a number, you would think that approximately 1,000 men make up the Starvan military, maybe a bit less given that they had to reduce their number in terms of getting rid of mages and stuff when the rulings came in at the time that have since been abolished. They haven't been able to fully re-recruit that. But it looks like, as a result of the size of this clearing, that it would be big enough to house all of that, albeit on relatively uneven ground. And the lake makes for both a obstacle and a source of water, so there's sort of some bad and some good. So they're quite far away, as they all stand at different points of the edge of this clearing. I'm just going to draw something crappy on the map again, so that we've got it. This isn't.
Sorry, are we at the clear? Sorry, are we at the lake already?
Yes,
Or are we
you
on
made
our way
it.
there?
You
Yeah.
made it last session.
We
Okay.
arrived.
Yeah.
And just, sorry, this is a little bit out of character, but obviously Aresia's mission was to find a place to set up camp, and I've just been yanked in now that her mission's complete. So do I have a mission?
You didn't come here with a mission other than taking over the overlooking of the squad, this squad. You weren't working on anything when you got back. You hadn't been tasked with anything else. It was more a case of you were recovering, and then Aresia started this ritual. You got the inkling of Aresia wants to switch places, and you went, Okay, well that must be for a reason. I'll go with it and swap places as a result.
Gotcha.
Um,
Cool.
I probably should have done letters rather than X's for everyone, but there you go. That's roughly your locations.
Yeah, I was
Cool.
gonna say who's who. But fair enough.
So,
Okay.
Livia, we'll put you over here. I'm just going to put everyone where I decide. The one that I just deleted can be Nemea. This one can be Vice. That's Taran, and that's Asteros. So, Asteros, Taran.
Why are we all separate?
Because you were separate.
Mm.
That's what happened. I've switched Vice and Nemea for no reason. There we go.
But we're not near a lake or a body of water?
So you're next to the lake. That's what the blue circle is.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I thought that... Yeah, okay.
Brown
Gotcha.
clearing, blue lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Cool. Okay, Parvis, while we go and meet up with the others, why don't you just tell me everything that's happened in the last 3 days, and I will attempt to piece this all together before we call in the troops.
I just sigh a bit, and then I'll recall, like, not in the most detail because I'm not really that bothered right now. I just want to sleep a bit.
Mhm.
I'm in a nappy kind of mood, so I just sort of jitter on a bit vaguely about what happened. Just like, yeah, there's a tower, some stuff happened. There was a blood chest at one point, but like, that's not even relevant. Basically,
So much
like,
fucking
there's these
stuff.
visions and stuff. Yeah.
Tower, blood chest, visions.
Fog,
Alright.
tree, here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fogland. That was fun. Fucky fog.
Fucky fog, fucky carpet, fucky chest, fucky tower, fucky trapdoors.
So with the tale
Uh,
sort of recounted, Asteros and the group, you're all aware
Excellent storytelling, by the way. Thank you very much for that.
that you're all aware that it's the next step would be for the Starver military to meet you here. You are kind of under the impression that you resolved the issue with the fog, and as a result, it would be unlikely that they would have to do the same sort of thing. It's been cleared now, so the chances are that it's a simple path through, and even if it's not, Aresia's with them. Aresia did say that she was going back to sort of retell the story to the main forces of the military with the intention of them moving up. So you're all under the impression that you have kind of 2 or 3 weeks of downtime here before the military comes and meets you and then sets up in this clearing as intended.
Okay.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Because I'm a bit lost. That picture that you drew earlier on where we were in separate places,
Uh-huh.
are we in separate places still?
You're
or
free to
is-
move around. I would assume at this point you've generally gathered near where Asteros ported in.
Oh no, it's just that seemed like quite a large
It
distance
was.
between.
Yeah.
I imagine I was
Hmm.
like going and gathering some firewood while
Yeah.
he appeared. And then I'll come back and realize, oh shit.
Yeah, I think we're just all milling about and split apart to check out the clearing and
Yeah,
general,
and
then
originally
head
the
back.
intention was you guys were going to just sort of scout out about the forest a little bit and just see if anything was coming your way.
Okay, right. Okay, I see. Hmm.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So what do you guys want to do over the... If you don't have anything to say to each other now...
Well, as everyone would reconvene, I'd want to turn to Asteros and say, so, we've heard about what happened with our lovely horned one here.
Yeah, Asteros, you're alive.
I want to hear your side of the story.
Oh, is Nemea right next to us?
You've
I'm
all
walking
sort
up
of...
to you guys.
Yeah, you're all sort of
Oh,
close
okay.
to
We're all back
regrouping.
together now.
Mm.
Pig.
I'm gonna sort of half not disregard, but just sort of hand my hold up to Taran for a moment, and just walk up straight, square up to Nemea, and just kind of just look down and say, "Private Hartley, what's your report?"
That was
Did-
in game.
Did Taran not update you on everything that's happened? I'm alive. I'm glad you're alive.
It's good to see that you're alive too. But when we were separated, feared the worst. Tell me what happened after that.
I lean slightly over to Livia. Are they cool now?
I don't know. This is
I-
weird.
Well, I was running, and then I found a tower, and they were inside the tower. That's it, really.
Probably worth noting that when
Just-
you left the tower, you weren't in the same place that when you went into the tower.
Exactly that. Well,
Thank
what
you,
happened
voice in
to
my head.
you? I was so confused when we got separated. Did you leave me, or what happened?
There were simply too many of them. There was absolutely no way I could get to you, and then we had no choice but to flee. I had feared the worst for you, but I am glad to see that you're okay.
Thank you. I'm glad you're okay as well.
I thought he was a hardcore racist.
I don't know what happened. That's very weird.
And just before we got separated, just after we got separated, did they assist you in any way with the Wood Elf threat? What happened to our enemy?
We did indeed try and fight them off. We downed several of them. They were just many in number.
Vice did an exceptional job. He took down like 4 in one go.
I'm sure it was 6. I'm sure it was 6. Thank you very much.
Roll deception.
I mean, Sergeant, you would have been proud.
Eh. But then loads
Evidently.
more appeared, and they all had potions, so it went really well.
Good. Well, I'm glad that our unit lived to see another day, and for what it's worth, had things been differently, we wouldn't have been separated. That attack came out of nowhere, and there was no other options. But I appreciate your report, and dismissed. And then I'm going to turn back to Taran.
Thank you.
Right, what is it you wanted?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes,
So,
no,
sorry, but
no witty
what
quips.
was your mission? What were you two doing other than looking for elves in the woods?
It's exactly as you say. We were looking for elves in the wood.
So the attack of elves was unexpected when you went looking for elves.
They
Well, we
came
had
out
the
of
drop on
nowhere.
them.
I feel like if you go looking for them and then they come out, it's not really out of nowhere.
The thing you must understand about those deceptive knife-eared bastards is they are deceptive and knife-eared and bastards.
Fuck.
We had the drop on them, and all was well. Our job was merely to scout. However, we were the ones being hunted the entire time. They lured us
I mean,
into
I
a
feel
trap.
like if we found a bunch of people that were scouting us, you'd want to attack them,
Here's my
right?
quick meta
Maybe
thing.
with 6 people, not with 2.
Is Vice human or is he half?
Vice?
What are you, man?
Sorry, what was the question? Am I?
I swear you are half elf.
I'm half.
Or
I'm
are you
half-
dancer?
Do you have
human.
pointy ears?
I am currently dying at the moment. I'm half elf, half human. Yes.
Do you have pointy ears?
I do not.
Okay.
They're probably slightly pointed if you're
Maybe
a half
very,
elf.
very slight.
Not definitely not as much
you
as
could
an
get
elf.
away with it,
They're,
not
they're
necessarily
pointed at the
being an elf.
bottom. At the bottom.
You're human passing. We'd never know to look at you.
Fair enough.
Cool.
That's all I want to know.
Well, why did you want to know that?
Because he's talking about
He's
knife-eared
being racist
bastards.
towards elves.
So, you know.
Elves are our sworn enemy in all of this. You realise that, right? This is like it's a racial thing. It's humans versus elves. There's no grey
but-
area there.
Mate, but
Yeah,
it
no,
seems
but
like, Sergeant, you just hate everyone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
just seem to
You
hate
don't like
everyone.
anyone that's not like you, basically.
I have nothing but love for the people of Stalvin, and
Mhm.
for my city, and for my people there. That's great.
Well, it's not quite,
Not so much.
quite right.
Not so much for our sworn enemy, and not so much for the people that brought the destruction, upon the world. If you can get
What
past
about
those
dwarves?
2 groups, I love everyone else. Dwarves are awesome. I speak Dwarvish. My best friend's
Oh.
dwarf.
What about gnomes?
What's his name?
What's his name?
What's his fucking name?
I lived up. I
Thor-
grew up in Star
Thorvus Cragbeard is his name.
Oh.
You're gonna need
I
to
know
write
him.
that down.
Yeah.
He's a right
Dwarves
bastard.
Cragbeard.
Sorry, I also completely
Interesting.
just dropped the voice there as well.
So, did you hate elves before the war?
I don't see why that's any of your concern.
Was
Did
just
the elf
curious.
break your heart?
No, did your bastard mother break yours?
No.
Guys,
damn.
we should stop the argument. He's
This-
only just got here. You can tell he's exhausted. Look at him.
This is
Yeah,
all that
he does
happens for
look
week one.
horrendous. You are right. We should let him sleep.
Thank you, Privis. I have travelled very far. I've come straight from a mission. We were trapped and hunted by wood elves, and then I was teleported through the air, and I've landed here, and now I'm subject to
It sounds like you
interrogation.
had exactly the same experience as Nemea, except you got 3 days chill time while she carried on walking through an endless fog.
Yes, but she found you, and she also teleported into a tower. I had neither luxury.
Oh, where were you?
I fled, much to my shame, and I fled until they could pursue me no more. I fell down into a small abyss. They gave up their chase, and there I remained for 3 days.
I stand up and I say, well, and I flaunt my quarterstaff and slam it down. If you've been spending all your time running away, I think you might want to spruce up your combat skills a bit.
Are you challenging Sergeant?
I've had a good fight with our lovely lieutenant, so I think I want to round 2 with you.
That's
Oh,
hilarious. Do it.
Do it. Just go.
Very
for it.
well.
I watch. Vice, let's make cheerleading things.
Yeah, let's go. Have you? I'm sure I got some. We've got some berries or something. That we can
I backed down.
What, that we can throw at them?
You're gonna make popcorn out of them.
There's no fish. I don't have any fish, do I? Oh no.
I've backed down from enough fights recently. I will accept your challenge. Conditional. The rest of you layabouts, and Private Hartley, set up camp! Why are you all just standing here? Vice,
Well, we don't get to watch, Sergeant. Come on.
you can watch while you create a fire and cook and prepare a meal. Livia, I want this border secured. I need a tent hoisted. Parvis,
Hey, why have I got to do
I've
that?
always considered you genuinely useless. Find something to do and do it.
He's supposed to be in your
Make
fight,
a
I
fire,
assume.
cook a meal. Livia, secure the entire clearing. Like, wow.
He just wants you to put up a tent, Livy.
I go right up next to Vice. I pat on his shoulder and I whisper in his ear, just put a bunch of salt in his food, like a lot.
You're going to poison your commanding officer, yeah?
You didn't hear that.
I'm whispering.
Josh, did I hear that?
Your passive perception's 12. You didn't hear that. Yeah, Livia, if you want to spend some time doing that, roll me nature or survival. In terms of Asteros and Taran, then, for the sake of not making this last half an hour, why don't you both give me 3 rolls to attack? And we'll see how many hit from both sides. Taran, why don't you go first? So three rolls to hit with your quarterstaff.
3 of them, yeah? 1,
Yes, please.
2. Yikes.
And Asteros, the same.
Do I need to do 6 because I have disadvantage with exhaustion?
Yes.
Shouldn't mention that.
Yeah, so you
guarantee
have
somehow
disadvantage on
someone-
ability checks, speed halve, disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
19, 17. Oh, these are good rolls.
Are you
So do you
rolling
just take-
in roll 20? Because I'm not seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
Me neither.
No, me either.
Are
I
you-
mean-
I am. I can see Taran's rolls.
Ah. You're not doing
got a
it in some
15, a
sort of
14 and a
whisper or
9.
something?
Is the top of your screen got like a red bar at all?
It's just popped up now.
Ah, so it's just a connection thing. What was the totals? They'll come through momentarily.
Yeah, so my first one was a 19 and a 4. Shit, I've lost them now myself. 19 and. Okay, they're gone. It was 19 and 17.
Okay, so that's already a
First
hit.
one. Yeah, and then the next 2.
Feel free to re-roll them if you need
What
to.
was- No, it's fine. 9 and 11.
Yeah, so that's a miss. These ones are coming through.
And then
And 9 again,
10
so
and
that's a
9.
miss. So,
Yep.
Taran, you you begin to swing the quarterstaff around, kind of Grievous style, spinning a lightsaber up high, almost hitting the ground as it sweeps by, and you slowly start stepping towards Asteros, looking for an opening, waiting to see what he does as he kind of repositions his shield on his arm and has his sword ready. If I'm right about what your equipment is, Asteros. Don't you have
two-handed hammer in one hand.
Yeah, I thought it
and
was
a big metal shield.
I thought sword was wrong.
Yeah.
So as you spin it round, you see him kind of shift the shield on his arm a little bit. He goes to kind of just hit you square in the chest, and you manage to like go to parry it, but before you can fully bring back the blow, you realize it was a feint. And he goes forwards and just bashes you with the shield. A bit on the chest, a bit on the face, and you just slam back onto the ground behind you. You kind of try to swing 2 more times as you're falling, both missing. And Asteros, having knocked you to the ground, swings the Warhammer twice, kind of looking for leg shots more than anything, but misses both as you fall back to the ground. You land on your ass as he stands kind of over you at this point.
Well,
Triumphantly?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Triumphantly indeed. Only one of those 6 attacks hit from the 2 of you, and it was
I'm
Asteros.
just a bit winded because I imagine he would have like smacked me pretty fucking hard. So I just be like, oh, 1 good hit's what you need, right?
I go over and I help skin. I go up and help them and give them like a water skin. I'm just like, can you guys just make do for now? Let's just all set up camp and eat some food. I think we're all exhausted at the end of this.
Agreed. I rose to your challenge, but now that you have been suitably vanquished, I trust we can put this matter to bed.
No, vanquish me, good sir.
Okay. Vice, how's coming that fire?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's done. It's done. It's done. It's right there. And I point to a pathetic-looking fire that's not
It's
even
basically
caught.
just a surrounding of the logs that the mayor brought over before she started talking to you. All he's really done is collected them and put them on top of each other.
And then I click my fingers and I just do precipitation and just spark a flame and
Okay.
gets it going.
It lights up. It's a slow flame to begin with, but the logs do seem relatively dry, and they take the flame well. Livia, roll medicine. That's what the response to your question was. You didn't seem to do it. You just said okay.
Oh, I thought you were telling me that they were medicinal.
No. So, are you looking to add anything with the food or anything, Vice, or are you just doing a simple meal?
Oh, I'm just gonna do a simple meal right now.
Okay.
I would like. In fact, can I not use this opportunity to practice?
Yeah, you could do one use of practices.
One use of practice.
Yeah. Livia, they're not poisonous in any fashion. They do just seem to be they'll serve for eating. They're edible, but they don't have any other kind of property. They seem to be a sort of offshoot of like a blackberry.
Ooh.
They're not exactly a blackberry, but they taste similar-esque.
Vice!
You should add your proficiency to that, Vice.
Oh, did I not?
No.
Sorry.
And am I right in thinking that you're going for apprentice? Yeah,
I am, yes.
That's going to be a fail then. Your proficiency is a +3, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're one
Yeah, I
away,
need 14,
unfortunately.
don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take the ingredients
Never
off anyway, because they're still spent.
That's all of it gone now. I ain't got nothing.
Wow.
I've only got herbs left now, everyone.
Vice!
Yes.
I found you some berries!
Berries? Well, I mean...
We can
it's
make a
snack
cake!
on.
Have you got flowers? Flour?
I do have flour. Yeah.
You can
I
make a
do.
cake without eggs, you know.
But I haven't got eggs. Okay, I've only got pickled eggs for some reason.
Don't make a cake out of pickled eggs.
We can make some kind of dessert.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure I could.
I like this plan.
I'm sure I can make something up.
There's
Yeah.
cake involved.
Purple
Yeah,
berries! 5 lots. Oh,
Have
no.
we
Thank you
got
very much.
blueberries?
Thank you. Give them to me.
No, they are purple berries, Namaya. Ooh.
Where's my ingredients? Oh, hang on, I've lost them. What the fuck? Oh. Excuse me. That's
So-
my ball gone.
Given that it doesn't seem any of you are doing anything specific outside of just
Ooh.
general setup and stuff like that.
Oh, no.
Go on, Livia. No? Yes?
I was going to say I want to practice with my new weapon, but I already picked berries, so.
Yeah, we're about to go into that anyway, so that's fine.
Lovely.
Oh yeah, you can't loop on this bot. Cool. So can I get everyone to roll initiative, please, and then we'll do downtime.
I love ambient music.
Roll initiative.
18.
Mhm.
Ba, 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 ba.
Damn.
God, come on.
Initiative
Oh my
plus-
God, stop.
7.
Oh, you all suck.
Oh,
You
Eight.
all
Wait.
suck.
2.
Oh, you're all basically in here. Let's just use this.
hang on a minute. I cannot roll because all of the notifications are popping up on the right side of my screen, which is where.
Oh, what from where the rolls
Screen.
came in before?
Yeah. There we go. All right.
Livia, is yours the 20? Yeah.
20.
Taryn
All the
with
others are
7.
terrible. You don't need to know.
Namir with the 8.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not really anything outside of putting you in order. So
I know.
5, 16. Let's get rid of second Livia. Westeros with a 2. And that's everyone. So, Livia, you have 2 to 3 weeks. We'll call it 3 weeks. What do you want to do? You can kind of get 3-ish things in depending on what the things are.
Foraging will be one of them.
Okay. In fact, skip foraging. Everyone gets 2 weeks. You're all going to have to spend a week finding food, essentially.
Okay.
At different parts of the 3 weeks, you're going to spend some days finding food so that you don't die of malnutrition.
So I've got the thing with my new blade that I have disadvantage until I have 5 successful hits.
Uh-huh.
I've not had a chance to use it yet.
Okay.
So I don't know if I can try and lower that by practicing or sparring with someone or
Yeah.
like however it be done. I don't know, but I feel like that's what I would naturally do. Like seeing as
You're
I can't
very
fucking
aware.
handle the thing, I want to try.
You're very aware that Taryn loves to spar.
I will happily spar with Taryn. He
Okay.
seems to be up for
Kick
it.
his ass, Livia!
So,
Fuck you.
Livia, give me 3 attacks to hit, and Taryn do the same.
Yes.
Asteros, all of your exhaustion is gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's cool.
I knew this was going to happen, but there was still an effect of you leaving the forest.
Fucking hell, I'm gonna die.
Ba, 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 ba.
Hey,
Whoa.
Okay.
You really got
Yes!
stop challenging your friends to fight. I mean,
So-
actually, no. This is how you
This
get
is
did it.
thunder.
payback for you kicking Elkis's ass. This is payback.
You don't know about him.
You don't know, Elkus.
Ulrich knows.
Who wick?
So,
Laelric?
Wick, wick.
Who?
as you have this fight, both sort of spinning the blade around a little bit. Livia, you test this out, kind of trying to bring the blade over, like the handle wraps around your knuckles as you kind of spin it in one hand and grab it again. You can take out all of your required to hits that you have with this blade. I know you only rolled 3 times, but take off all 5 because doing this over the time that you have off is going to be enough practice for you to get proficient with it.
Thank you.
However, as this fight rages on, Taryn, you realise the first time that your blades kind of come to blows that her sword is kind of cutting quite hefty notches into your quarterstaff before fully making contact. And in realising this, you line up 2 of your attacks to kind of tip your quarterstaff so that it's has like a point to it rather than a blunt end. And in doing so, you manage to allow the last hit from Livia to just go over, and then you spin the quarterstaff round and hit her in the stomach with the blunt end, and it kind of catches her a little bit off guard, and she's winded for a moment, and you two agree between you at that point that you have won this small sparring match. What I will say, Taryn... Go on, sorry?
I would do a nice like up where I do a nice flare water staff where it goes slightly behind my back and bow.
Livia spins the
I am not
sword
going
and
to do
turns
that.
it off.
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna press the button and put it away.
She just turns it off. Puts the hilt back on her waist.
I'll be like, fair fight, you did well. Just remember who saved your hand.
Oh, don't worry, I will never.
So Taryn, you have +1 damage with your quarterstaff on the next hit, and Livia, you've lost all the 5 necessary practice sessions to become proficient with your sword, given its odd nature. It's kind of a strange double-ended sword, difficult to wield, especially with one hand when the other hand is holding a shield.
So is it just +1 guaranteed damage?
Yeah, +1 damage on your next hit. It will go after the next hit as the end of the quarterstaff blunts from the impact of using it as a piercing weapon when it's a bit of wood, essentially. Livia, do you want to do anything else on your second week?
Just look for medicinal herbs.
Okay, roll nature or survival. Let me open the book. We'll do it properly.
Nat 1, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I've rolled a nat 20 and a nat 1. It's been impressive.
You do find, I would say, 3 uses of a specific herb that you believe to be medicinal. You're not exactly certain. That's the wrong book. Bear with me. Let me just find this, and then we will check if you have any already. Sorry. Do you have any
Do you want me to tell you what I have?
Arctic creeper?
Ugh, no, that sounds terrible.
No? So you find 3 uses of Arctic creeper. You believe it to be a ingredient in like healing tonics.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah, sure, thank you.
Cool. Vice. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
What do you want to do in your 2-ish weeks downtime?
Did I because I thought that I haven't done this, but you may correct me. So did I read the foreign botany and nutritional capacity book that you gave me?
I think you were supposed to be tracking.
Because I don't think I read it.
No, I'm pretty sure you haven't read it. I'm pretty sure you've just been practicing or cooking for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you get it?
I can't remember. I actually cannot remember
Is
where
this
I
the
got
one
it
shot
from.
book? Or is it a different book?
No.
I think I named this based on the name. I'm guessing I named it.
Foreign botany and nutritional capacity.
Yeah. Did it come from a shop in Salvan?
I don't think I bought it. I think I found it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone knows where it came from, that's fine. But I think with books, wasn't it? A study, here it is.
Find it in the temple.
Progress through the skill
Not in
levels
the
quickly. You
temple,
can
in the
purchase
tower.
specialized
It
books.
may.
No,
Find it in the tower.
the book that Taran found in the tower was.
Oh, I know that Taran found a book. I was wondering if Vice also
No,
found
he
it.
didn't. I don't
just
think he
can't
found a
remember where
book
I
on
found it.
herbs and shit and ingredients in the tower. I don't remember adding that.
Does it have any description, Max?
It says, though various passages throughout the pages of the tome is written in common, they reference all manner of things which residents of Bela'Dun are wholeheartedly unfamiliar with.
I remember this
I swear
book.
that's mine.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think
It's
it
the
had.
cookbook. I never
Yeah,
named it.
you didn't name
You named it.
I named it. That's why. Yeah, it's from the one shot, and there's a reason that that like what's listed there doesn't massively make sense. You could certainly study it if you wanted to. I don't know whether or not it's going to have the desired effect, but it's up to you if that's what you could spend one of your downtime studying that book.
I'd like to.
Okay, so give me 3.
Reading rolls.
Yeah. Give me 3 investigation rolls.
Even
Right.
if it just helps you recognize weird ingredients like way later down the line. Cool.
Okay, cool. So, as you read this book more and more, you start to recognize that, if anything, it probably has descriptions and ingredients and culinary processes that are like way above your station. This isn't a simple like apprentice tier book that's going to help you get to the next level of culinary artisan. This is something far more complex, and it would help you regardless, except for the fact that everything it references just doesn't seem to make any sense whatsoever. Like, it's talking about fruits that don't exist. What was the name of the fruit? It was called was it a shanice?
No, it wasn't Shanice.
But that's what I stole it from. Scanice, thank you. Yeah, that's what I stole it from. So, what you do find, Vice, in as you're getting kind of tired of looking through this thing that's basically nonsense, is that a Scanice is actually referenced in this book. And there's like a little picture of it on one of the pages in the bottom right corner. It's on a page that kind of describes how they grow, and it explains that they sort of are not dissimilar to kind of conkers. They're like large conkers, and you are supposed to...
like the outer shell.
Yeah, you're supposed to like break off the outer shell and get to the kind of fleshier fruit beneath. They grow from relatively small Scanice trees, which you've never heard of. And eventually they fall to the ground, and they have like a hard casing because the tree tends to grow in areas where it's kind of arid and warm. So they land on sort of dusty stone-like ground rather than landing in like swampland and not needing any kind of protection. Everything else in this book tells you that it's referencing things. You would have thought that it was something that somebody made up, except for the fact that you're now in possession of something that is listed in this book, which leads you to believe that actually maybe everything in the book is real. It's just got nothing to do with anything anyone's ever heard of in Bela'Dun, which suggests perhaps some sort of other place.
Okay. Okay.
That's massive.
I need to find. I mean, guys, I'm trying to read this book here, yeah, and it doesn't make sense to me. Other than I can confirm that the Scanice that we found in the tower, I'm sure it was in the tower.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Is in this book. Which means that a lot of what's in this book must be real in some way or another. I need to find myself some someone with knowledge on this type of field, because
you're all familiar with a colloquialism known as the Verlands, which essentially references any continent or land outside of Bela'Dun, but the word means more just like other places, because nobody's gone to these other places. It's impossible to traverse the sea. It's spelt like this. And it's a Bela'Dun word that just means like other continents, other places like Bela'Dun. But because it's been impossible for anyone to leave Bela'Dun, the word it's like calling something foreign. You don't actually know where foreign refers to.
You just know it's not home.
Yeah, it's just not here, and that's what the Verlands are. It's just other places. You don't actually know where they are or if they exist. But this book is starting to confirm that somewhere like that must exist.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to do anything else for your other week?
Could I just maybe sharpen my sword? Can I do that?
Yeah, sure. Give me D20 plus proficiency. Say that again, Livia.
No, I was just being a cheerleader, don't worry.
Just a D20 plus proficiency.
Come on, man.
Let me find some different music, because whilst this ambient is accurate, it's not very melodic.
So it's nighttime here.
There we go. Okay, so you manage to kind of get it back to standard Vice, but nothing special. You get a little bit distracted looking at the strange gears in the hilt of your blade kind of clicking slowly as you see the hilt very, very slowly compressing over time, over the week that you spend trying to do this off and on. But no primary sort of gain in doing this. Nemea, what are you doing?
I want to spend my first week of time practicing my enchanting again with my powder.
Okay.
Or my dust.
So I believe, am I right in thinking, Vice, that you are an apprentice? No, you are a student.
No,
Nemea's not
Yeah,
even
I'm
a
a
student
student.
yet. Or you were a
Yeah,
student
below
as well,
that.
Nemea.
I think I'm a student.
Don't you start as a student? I'm sure.
So,
You're one level above the base, Max.
Yeah.
Everyone
yeah, I
else is
thought you were
base.
one level above base, Vice.
No, because I haven't. I need 12 to achieve apprentice.
Student.
And I've only got 8 at the moment.
Oh, I'm definitely
no,
an
you-
apprentice because I definitely got those first 4 points because I remember that was a moment.
Maybe Nemea's higher then? I thought one of you was higher than the other, but I've never heard of either of you doing the thing from the apprentice tier of your profession. So how many points into the craft do you have, Vice?
I'm 8 points.
And you need 12, that's right.
12.
How many do you have, Nemea? I assume you're checking.
We can't hear you if you're talking, Lucy.
Oh, sorry. I taken 3 off, so I'm 27 notches away.
So how many notches are you in?
Journeyman.
3?
Yeah, from like past apprentice.
So you
So I've
believe
got, what,
you're
13?
an apprentice. Following in the gods.
Wait, 14, 15, 16, 17 notches in total?
Enchant a creature's foot.
I
where you
guess.
just learn to activate the enchantment.
If it takes 30,
So it takes 30 for you
Then-
to become a journeyman, and the point system
And I've not
stacks.
got
So
that.
whatever point you are at is what you are
oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it like took that on top of that. So I thought
No, so,
I did
like-
10 and then 30 was the next one.
at. So you'd only need
Right.
20 from apprentice to journeyman.
Oh, okay, then I have been doing it wrong. Okay, that's better for me though.
Okay. So you thought you were at what, like 17?
Yes.
Okay. But you've been
So
doing it
it's-
wrong, you've been adding it up wrong. Is 17 the correct number?
No, so if 17 is what she gave, then that must be the incorrect number.
Okay. So then you should be 4 higher than that, I believe. If you're 17 and you started again, you should be at like 17 plus 10 plus 4, right? But you'd have started at student, so I don't think you'd have needed the initial 4. I feel like you don't start at student because we've said that you had to practice. I remember you only having the ability to crush the dust for a while, Nemea, and then you hit
Yeah.
student.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's definitely started from the bottom.
Yeah, you started from the base
Now
and hit
she's there.
student.
Oh yeah, I started from.
Are you sure you got to apprentice? Because you've never used the apprentice thing.
I feel like I remember that happening, but
Yeah, I swear I remember it happening.
Okay.
Like, I swear, I definitely haven't done anything with it yet.
Cool.
But I have no fucking clue why.
So if you thought you were at 17,
BRB.
let's call it
No, it's-
24.
Okay.
And you wanted to now practice, is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay. And you're trying to get to journeyman, which means we need the journeyman practice DC. So give me a d20 plus proficiency.
I think now it's
It's
quite
epic
sad.
practice music.
I think Adam's now set the bar for how much effort we have to put into this now. So
Yeah, I'm not
I
in a
think we'll
position
up our
to
game.
green screen and everything else. I can barely even wear a
22.
hat with this thing on.
We need to get you a quarterstaff or something that you can wear on your back.
I have a
I
cloak.
want that.
Nemea,
wanna get
that's
a full-on
that's a
set.
success. So you're now on 25.
Taron's got like a scar across his nose, and for some reason I've like scratched my nose. So technically, I'm a bit into it.
It's cosplay right there.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
it.
That is
Unintentional.
serious dedication.
Thank you.
What was
See that, Josh? He bleeds for you!
Exactly.
And my head kind of hurts from wearing this tiny helmet.
Some point in
But
like,
you look so
I appreciate
good.
everyone's pain.
I'm gonna just fall over and I'm gonna like cut open my nose. I'm just gonna be like, this is the effort I'm putting in.
Ah, ew, 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 ew.
Oh,
What is wrong with you?
I killed a mosquito, but now it's dead on my head.
So go wash it. Yeah, so
see
Nameer,
that
you're
Josh
on
said he sheds
25.
other people's blood for you.
Do you want to do anything
Sheds the
else on
blood of
the
creatures.
in your downtime, Nameer? As
I
we
want
devolve
to-
into nothingness.
I imagine I'd just like be helping around the camp kind of thing.
Okay. That's fine. Why don't we say that you also get 2 uses of the berries that Livia found earlier?
Ooh, what do they do?
They're purple berries. You can eat them.
Oh, I like that.
Taryn, what do you want to do?
I'm
Just
back.
like the Campinos that Lael had. You just ate them.
Who's buried with them?
Yeah, those. Everything's with him. Literally everything. No.
I'm going to mute Vice. 1 sec.
Is there anything interesting in terms of like some kind of possible profession?
Not so much, because we've got cooking, enchanting, and we're adding alchemy for Sevi. You could do like tinkering or blacksmithing, something like that, and we could look to create something down the line.
Yeah, like we can happily create anything. Like,
Yes,
what
because I
what
want
kind of
some-
stuff would you want to do?
Taryn's a fucking book nerd and super into magic, so
What would the profession be to write scrolls, Josh? Inscription?
That's already
Scroll?
built
Like
into the
lore
game,
master?
like writing your own scroll. Can you create scroll in 5e?
was Scroll's more of a wizard.
You can scribe scrolls using spells on your spell list. Minimum caster level is the level of the spell, or by 50% of rarity of costs. Costs for scribing scrolls are 25 gold plus the level of the spell, times the caster level. Any costs incurred in casting the spell need to be added to the cost of the scroll during creation. So, crafting scrolls exists in D&D already, basically.
What about like leatherworking or something like that?
Yeah, so basically the easiest way to do it is to look at WoW professions, and then see which one is in line with what you had in mind. Let me just bring them up, see what they are.
Jewel crafting.
Jewel crafting's not relevant because it's tied into enchanting in our world.
Mining, herbing, and
That's not going to be relevant either because those are all gathering quests. I meant the crafting professions. There you go.
Mm.
I'm just trying to find something that lists them. Here we go. So we've got alchemy, blacksmithing's open, we've got enchanting, engineering would be tinkering. Inscription doesn't really exist because it's just going to be writing scrolls. Jewel crafting's built into enchanting because of Nameer using gems. Leatherworking exists as a thing, and you could look to make armors and stuff like that, and tailoring would be sort of more clothes than armors. Cooking exists. It's what Vice is doing. So yeah, you're really looking at blacksmithing, tinkering, or tailoring in terms of like a leatherworking kind of thing. So tinkering would be like the class that Mercer created. I think it's called a gunslinger. Is it called a gunslinger?
Is it the blood hunter thing?
No, that's a different one. The one that Percy was in campaign 1. I think it's
Yeah, I
called
know
a
what you mean.
gunslinger.
I think,
I'm actually about 20
yes,
minutes
it
into
is.
campaign 1. So
I think Amy was looking at tinkering as well. Not that that should put you off, because we can have 2 or more of the same thing. That doesn't matter.
Basically, I don't think that tinkering would work in terms of creating a profession like we have done for the others. I don't think I could create something for tinkering. The way we would work it instead is you would put forward designs and ideas, and I would tell you, or you could probably tell me, but I would tell you whether or not it was balanced, what you would need to create it, and then when you tried to create it, we would have something in line with the other professions that we have homebrewed, so that it was at the same level. So if you want to go down the tinkering route, you basically can start however you want. Whether or not you can make something super complex is going to be on a case-by-case basis. And the gold and time and things like that per item, depending on what you expect them to do at the end, is going to have to be done object by object. Otherwise, you're going to be so limited that you'll only be able to make like 5 things.
Okay.
So if
Unless
you want
you've had, is there anything that you had an idea about?
Not really. I just want something a bit more.
Something to do
unique
that's
to
more
me.
yours.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Google
'cause-
Google downtime 5e and you'll find a lot of stuff. There's a lot in the player handbook about downtime. There's some expanded books that go into downtime more in more detail.
Yeah,
But
they
if
have
you're
some really good ideas
if you're
in
looking
there.
for ideas more than like you are certain you want to do this, how can we make it work? Then yeah, look at those kind of things, and I'm sure you'll come across something. Certainly, if you want to become some kind of tinkerer, I'm happy to do that. Like I say, object by object, so that you're not limited to what you can create. More just sort of limited in power, and we'd put you on the same kind of table as cooking and alchemy and enchanting when we build it, or the other way around, because I think Livia is alchemy and Nemea's enchanting. So yeah,
I'll have a think about it because you're very knowledge booky based. Maybe there's something we can come up with that's sort of more
you
down
could
that route.
definitely become some sort of author if you wanted to go down that route. You could try and create
Yeah.
your own spells if you wanted to go down that route. I'm cool with like allowing anything so that it's as fun for you as possible.
I mean, creating like that sounds more like Taryn's. Like, I want to experiment with spell stuff. Like
Yeah.
that sounds fun.
So what I would say in terms of that, just off the top of my head, without like checking if this is fair or unfair or balanced or not, is that if you look at any of the spells you can cast and try and create an equivalent that is different in some way that makes it your kind of spell,
Yeah.
that will give us
So-
an idea of what kind of level spell you're creating, and as a result of that, we'll probably go off how much is involved in creating a spell scroll as to whether or not you could create that spell. Probably
Yeah.
with like a multiple attempts required type thing.
So like a sort of morphing my spells more than creating something.
If you've got a fresh idea that you think is entirely new, I'm cool to like roll with
Try.
that and see how we can link it to a similar-ish spell and then find out where it fits.
Yeah.
You could certainly go down that route. That's
yeah,
cool.
you could go fresh, as in wanting to make new things, or you could go down the route of wanting to take existing spells and make them different. So, I don't know, like you've got a chill hand one, for example. You might want to make it like a fire hand spell, for example, and that kind of thing. Chill
Yeah.
touch or whatever it is. So you have a think, we'll have a think, and we'll get something written up. I'm not bothered. Like we know kind of how mine's going to go, so we've just been lazy and not done it yet.
Yeah, that's very true.
But if you've got something you specifically want with some good ideas, then me and Josh can work at it in the weekend. And
Yeah.
If
If
we're not-
anything, I'll think about it for like the next downtime of something like that. For now, I think 1 week I'd rather spend just practicing with my shocking grasp. It's a spell I use a lot.
Okay.
I like to practice with me things.
So give me
Sounds good.
3 to hits with your shocking grasp.
Tabs open. Hut.
Okay. So I'll say on your next shocking grasp you have advantage to hit with it.
Sick.
Asteros, what do you want to do in your downtime?
Yes. So I've got 2 things I want to do. First thing is I want to seek out Nemea, who I'm assuming is somewhere in our camp.
Yes.
She is.
Yes. And are we sort of suitably far away from everybody else that we can have
You
something
can
resembling
be.
a private conversation?
Yeah, it's not difficult enough to find a time when everyone else is off doing their own thing.
Cool. Private Heartily.
Yes.
I just wanted to congratulate you on your bravery the last time we saw you with the Wood Elves. And it's never ideal to flee a situation, but I feel you handled yourself well. Were it not for their sheer numbers, no doubt we could have taken them.
Definitely. Thank you. I knew you couldn't have abandoned me. I was shocked, and I'd been running and I was alone, and so I hope you're not upset with me for giving the the team the wrong impression. I think we're things are going well. Good. Thank you.
Well, I don't necessarily care about the opinions of them. However, based on our recent conversation, our recent arrangement, I would like to seal it with a small gift of my appreciation. And I'm going to hand over the Stone of Zeni.
Ah.
You motherfucker!
Captain, I can't accept this. You were just as as brave, and you definitely held your own out there.
Take it.
I'm going to just kind of clasp her hand around it and just say, this pebble has brought me absolutely nothing. I'm merely carrying it around. I have my own business to deal with this cube. I'm just going to shake the Lunari's lockbox.
The cube.
I see.
It explodes in your hands.
if you can make sense of this magical item, as I know you're magically inclined, then all the better for our unit and the sake of our squad and our missions moving forward. So I beg you, please take it.
Thank you. I'll treasure it. Thank you. I mean, I'll look after it. Thank you.
Very good. I'm gonna walk away, head back to the main camp.
It's in your journal, Nemea. If you want to attune to it in this downtime, you easily could have.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
Taran, unrelated, mumbles to himself in the distance. God, I want that fucking rock.
What does it do?
It's in your journal.
What
Just go to your journal and click it.
So that's action number 1.
Uh-huh.
Action number 2. I've got something in my character sheet. Josh, you have my character sheet open there?
I don't, but I can. Doop, 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 doop.
Oh, the Stone of Zeni is awesome.
Player info. Astros.
Features and traits.
Dum, dum, dum. Ah, yes, you want to kill the entire party.
Betrayal 5. Can I do my
no shock there at all.
Can I do my feature? And can we agree some kind of benefit for doing it?
Da, 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 da. No.
Is that all your feature says?
Yeah, because this is a feature that I wrote, not a feature that I pulled out the guide.
Ah, right. What
We
were
never
you,
actually came back to it.
What were you basing it off of? I remember telling you that whilst the flare is awesome, you basically need to take a feature that is matched with your background.
So I was going to say, if we could use the downtime for religion, because it is a religious service, but just apply it in this kind of form rather than actually go into a temple.
Max is
because we're in the woods. That is the Gaia temple.
That hot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw it. And I pressed
Is that when you click this?
Yeah, it's like emoticons. Let me just find your background and find your feature. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow, boy. Oryx discovered a new world.
Ooh, pretty hard.
This is Elkas's reaction several thousand miles away, knowing that his stone's being tossed around.
It's not your stone.
Elkas.
And also, you don't know about it. This was done away from you. You think I've still got it?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's true.
Taran doesn't care.
Got your stone right here.
Yeah.
But
Town doesn't
Elkas-
mind, but Ulrich is
Elkas-
furious.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Gosh, if this is
Yeah, it's
Oh,
probably going to take
yeah.
slightly longer, I would say. The background that you've taken does have a feature, but it's a little loose. I feel like I remember having a conversation with you regarding like free board and like open arm welcome to any kind of shrine or temple of Gaia. I feel like we had a conversation about how in the acreage in Stalvin you would have been welcome and able to stay there for free as a result of your affiliation with Gaia. There's definitely one that's like, I believe Guild Artisan has a thing where if you come across your guild, they pretty much like put you up for free and that sort of thing. So what I would say the easiest thing is going to be in the closest to yours is going to be to take the Guild Artisan feature. If you want something that specifically relates to more consecration of ground and that sort of thing, then that would be entirely different. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, that is what I was going for. I was
Okay,
going to wonder
cool.
if we could use religious service, but it's based on people in a temple. We're not in a temple, so let's just park it for now because it needs to be done off session.
Yeah.
I'll just use this week to play with Lunari's lockbox, take another swing at it.
That's cool. Look at some
I've
of
got
the
full health.
existing features, much like Taran and his potential changing of spells. Look at some of the existing features and bastardize one so that it matches what you're going for, and then I'll make sure that it's not like OP, and we'll use that instead.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, so Lunari's lockbox. I have an entirely separate handout for that.
Time to hear
Hang
some
on.
angered grunts in the distance. The fucking box!
Where
Yeah,
is the
third time's
fucking
the charm
box?
with this box.
Just gonna hear
I
some
can never
slamming
fucking
and
find
banging.
it. Is the problem? I have like a.
I've got it open. There's only one thing to it.
There's a notepad file that I have that is relevant to it, and I don't know where it is. Let me see.
I can read it.
Here it is.
Oh, you got it?
Let's see. Oh, there it is on stream. I don't know where the hell it is, but I have the handout. So, this would be your third attempt.
Certainly would.
Give me a flat intelligence roll, please. What path is this saying that it is in? Oh, okay. Ah, I was well close. I almost
18.
found it. 18 will pass.
Yes. Finally.
So, now I'm going to have to find it. That was just a handout. You've got it on you, don't you? Oh, but that doesn't say what it does.
No, it just says how I pass it. Intelligence or take psych damage. But that's the
Blah, blah,
constant.
blah. Yeah, I kind of roughly remember what it does. I don't know if I've got it written down.
What's in the box, Josh?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
God, I really don't have it anywhere. Oh no, this is the handout again. Possibly a different handout to the one that you have. Okay, so I can only remember one thing about what it does, and I'm just gonna have to roll with it because it seems like I haven't written it down anywhere.
Let's go. No one knows any better anyway.
So you spend a decent amount of time. It says that it takes an hour. You spend several hours over the week playing with this thing, but making sure that any time you get a little bit confused or taken aback by a particular switching in its machinery, rather than push yourself onwards as you have done previously and suffered as a result, you simply put it aside, come back to it the next day. Like if it was morning, you come back in the evening, and eventually over what I'm going to say is the full 2 weeks, you solve the box. There are many kind of like who's the guy in Naruto that copies other people's jutsus?
Kakashi.
Yeah, like Kakashi copying like the most complex jutsu of all time. You kind of make all the hand movements, change the box in the correct way. Yeah, like one eye closed. You don't have to put your helmet on odd to kind of make
My
it happen.
Sharingan!
Even though no one with the Sharingan ever does that for the rest of the series, but that's fine.
You successfully maneuver all the pieces, and finally you hear a very satisfying click as both halves of the box, one in each hand, kind of slide up apart from each other. And what you see inside is a very, well, I say small, it's actually quite a large crystal. But in actual size, it's about maybe 3/4 of an inch in width and about 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch in height. It's glowing, it's purple. And currently you haven't touched it. It lays in the inlay of the box in your left hand.
Was there by any chance a pulse of magical energy as this box opened?
Roll Arcana, Asteros, but not Taran. You are not there.
I'm in the general area.
You're not close enough for this.
That's fun to be.
8.
8. Okay, so, I mean, just as a result of your own intelligence, you suspect that the thing is magical in some sort of nature. But as to its specific, like, what's the word? Like, specifically what it does, you have no clue.
Okay. Mysterious. I'm gonna just roll it sort of between from one hand to another, just admiring it because it's purple and beautiful. And then I'm just gonna pocket it.
Terrible picture. Okay. You.
Yeah. I'm also gonna keep the 2 halves of this box as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you kind of pocket just the one half. You keep the other half on you. So you have an incredibly complex lockbox. It's probably going to be just as difficult to put back together as it is to unlock.
That's my thoughts exactly. I don't want to put it back together, stash it, and then we have to do all of this again.
Yeah. So, but if you did want to store something in it for safekeeping, it's large enough to store a roughly 1 inch by 1 inch something. That's all the space that is in the central recess of this box when opened. Well, that's fine. Currently, you have it opened, just back in a pocket. You haven't you haven't touched the gem. You haven't come into contact with the gem. It's in there. Given that you solved it, but then not done anything with it, do you want to do anything with it in the remainder of your 2 weeks? Or are you simply holding on to it?
Good question.
I want to poke it.
I'm gonna seek out Taran.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask him if he could identify this for me.
Okay. So you see before you, Taran, a simple but relatively large, very well, almost perfectly cut gem that has a purpley sheen to it and almost a bit of a glow. It's certainly magic in nature. Do you want to roll Arcana?
As that bit of RP, I would sort of grab it and I would like stroke it a little bit, sniff it, even give it a little lick, just sort of like really weirdly inquisitive about it. Just like,
don't lick my crystal, Parvis.
What am I rolling again?
Arcana. Given that you haven't come into contact with it yourself, Asteros, are you allowing him to simply pick it up and kind of take it from you as part of his inspection?
Didn't I take it out of the box to hand it to him?
I thought you just showed him the box.
Oh, no. Sorry, I've taken the crystal out
I
of the
thought
box.
you gave him the crystal, yeah.
Sorry, I
my
gave
bad.
the crystal out of the box.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's been in my hand for a bit.
That's fine. So, Taran, give me your Arcana roll.
Yeah. 17.
Okay, that's fine.
Nice.
So, seeing it, Taran, you recognize that it's definitely an object with some sort of magical power. You spend some time looking at it as Asteros reaches for it from this half a box. And just as you kind of recognize that it seemingly has something to do with kind of raw, innate arcane power, the likes of which you only can really liken to the concept of pure arcana itself, or perhaps some of the things you came across in the tower, Asteros picks it up, and it glows brightly, coming into contact with his skin on his hand, a bright purplish glow, and the glow gets kind of brighter and almost darker in color at the same time. It's like a brighter light, but a deeper purple. And as it becomes so bright that you're forced to like shield your eyes slightly, Asteros, it kind of dusts out of existence up your hand and leaves your hand kind of... I assume you were holding it kind of forefinger, middle finger, and thumb.
Sure, yeah, that's really small.
So all of those,
Please don't give me a backhand.
all of those fingers, and then kind of joined a little bit on your hand. Let's in true my boss style. We'll do a picture.
Please,
We'll do a doodle.
Black.
So this is your hand.
Wait, Taran, which hand of yours is black? Is it the left or the right?
hand.
You're right. Okay, I picked this up with my right, so we will be twins.
You'll be Black Hand Brothers.
Yep.
Black Hand Brother.
We don't know that that's actually what's happening.
We're just two
Judging
brothers.
by this.
Two
We're
brothers.
just two brothers.
I mean, if there was ever a time to start a gang, the Black Hand Brothers.
So
Purple.
this
Oh my God.
this portion of your hand, Asteros, sparkles a sort of purpley color. It seems to be permanent from what you can tell. It's your skin, almost as if you had this tattooed onto you. This is the kind of shape that it has on your hand, as I've terribly drawn it. Your wisdom permanently increases by 1.
Ooh,
Fuck.
nice. Very nice.
So a pretty huge buff. It's not common in D&D that any of your stats increase outside of ability score improvements.
Fuck yeah.
And if that takes
Like-
you to a even number, if you were previously odd and are now even, then everything to do with wisdom will go up by 1 along with the wisdom modifier.
I'm at 3 now.
+3.
Yep.
Were you
So it
at
hasn't gone
+3 before? So it hasn't
No, I was
gone
at +2 before. No,
Oh, so it has gone up.
it's gone from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
as a
So do
result
you
of
have
this gem.
anything tied to wisdom?
Yeah, insight.
Outside of that, what's your spellcasting modifier? Is it charisma?
Charisma.
I don't think there's anything else tied to wisdom for you as a paladin. No. So yeah, it goes up by 1. It will change those rolls, everything under wisdom. You now have that portion of your hand sparkly purple. It's otherwise your skin, but like tainted a kind of lightish purple, and it glimmers in a kind of like looking at space kind of way, but with a purpley hue.
I'm gonna just look at my hand and say, "Oh, good. Now that I've befriended a tiefling, I'm becoming one of them." I'm just gonna put my glove back over my hand, never to be seen in the flesh again.
Twins!
And then I'm gonna look at Taran. I blame you for this. Thanks for nothing. And I'm gonna walk away.
I'd rather be black than purple, yeah.
Same. I'm glad I got this and not the purple fingers.
Cool. I think that's my 2 weeks done.
That is your 2 weeks.
Did I
So
spend both of my weeks practicing with shocking grasp?
you spent one doing something and the other one shocking grasping, I think.
I didn't do anything with the first week because we were talking about spell shit.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do something else? You got something else in mind?
I
I assumed you spent that week sort of deciding what you wanted to do, in my mind.
guess so. I don't know.
Given that we've spent ages on this and you still don't have anything, I'm going to move on.
In terms of RP things, I guess I would say that I was thinking about morphing spells into other things and thinking about that kind of stuff. Practicing that.
That's cool.
Just sort of jabbering about.
Yeah, you spent some time going over some of the notes that you've written about your own spells, although ultimately a spell book for you isn't really required. Asteros,
I do have a scroll.
at some point during the 2-week period, you are... Well, you had this information anyway, but you're aware of the fact, having spent some time speaking to everyone. It's early on in the 2-week process. I know that we've just gone through the 2 weeks, but for the sake of expediency, in the first few days, you recall some of the things that you came into contact with before trading places with Oresia. And I'm going to assume, unless you want to stop me, that you recount this information about progress in the military to the rest of the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Stew around the campfire.
as you, one evening, as you guys are going about your day, some of you foraging, some of you reading books and trying to decide what you want to do with your life, Asteros mentions that outside of him, of his recovery, which wasn't really fully completed, but ultimately was moving along, the king returned to the Starver military. As you are aware, since you guys have been sent on missions, the king hadn't been there. He was going to meet with a dwarven representative to discuss the current outlawing of teleportation magic. Asteros explains that an agreement has been brokered with the dwarves, and that as a result, the outlawing of teleportation magic in Bela'Dun has been abolished. So all teleportation magic is legal once more. This is something that hasn't been the case since the Great War many years ago, which ended in the portals that allowed demons through to the realm, which caused the end of that war. It was also mentioned that whilst the dwarves seem to be suspicious of what Starvan's intentions were at the moment and what they were currently doing, they were too wrapped up in discussions regarding a new Thane in Dunbarlin, the dwarven capital, and were therefore not pushing it further. So the king's returned to the Starvan military forces. He is out north of Starvan with the men. he will likely be moving up to the position that you guys have found here. And teleportation magic is legal for the first time, possibly in your lives, depending on how old you are. In fact, probably all of your lives. I have a timeline somewhere, but I'll have to find it.
I'm only 35.
Yeah, it's probably... I definitely have a timeline file.
Pretty
I don't
sure
know where it
baby,
is.
so definitely.
Are you though? 35.
I am.
Okay.
Are you though?
I may be scaly, but I don't lie.
I don't think what I have for a timeline...
I mean, I definitely
states a
wasn't using
year.
teleportation magic when it wasn't legal. Like, that would be crazy. What?
No, you definitely weren't.
Never. My friends never did that. There was
Preposterous.
a weird, creepy... I can't even remember what race that dude was. That little asshole that Kohu hated.
He was a gnome.
He was a
No.
gnome.
Yeah. Like, he never teleported us around. Like, what?
Preposterous.
Nobody's
Crazy.
familiar with the guy that you're referencing. None of them have met or heard of him, I don't think. I don't think you guys have met him.
Definitely.
No, because you only came into contact with Kovu, right?
Because that was
Yes.
that one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So-
talking about pastimes.
As the days move on and eventually the weeks pass by, it is about a solid 3 weeks before you all eventually are met by the staff of military. They move up into the clearing in the forest, and the music is really weird for this. I just need ambient noise again.
Super epic. Setting
Yeah.
up tents,
We're
moving supply
here,
crates.
ba-ba.
Montage of crate moving.
Cartwheeling intensifiers.
They all break out into song.
Oh.
Sorry, it's probably throwing me off. So, what is 3 weeks ahead of this? 6, 12, 18, 30. It's the end of the month. In the evening. About 8 p.m. So, on one of the final days that you guys are alone, you hear the drumming of multiple feet making their way through the forest, the sounds of trees being, or branches being pushed aside, the occasional kind of cut out at something in the way. It's quite noisy, though ultimately not as loud as you would expect a full sort of marching force to be. They are trying to maintain some form of stealth, albeit there are so many of them that this is barely even possible. They eventually make it to the clearing. And as you see a few people kind of head nod your way, and Astros gets most of the greetings. It seems that a few people check in on him and check how he's doing and things like that. He's obviously looking a lot better as the time has passed. Livia, you see Aresia make her way up into the camp, and you kind of... Oh, well, I don't. It's up to you if you do anything to greet her. She's a bit far away, but...
I'll wave at her from afar and just sort of
Okay.
acknowledge.
She
that
kind of
she's
half
there.
raises a hand to wave back, like, acceptingly, but ultimately looks as though she's relatively busy going about her job.
Sounds good.
There's not too many other familiar faces. Misha is obviously one. Oh, don't mean to do that, because that makes everyone see
Do I
nothing.
see the boy that was meant to go find Adana?
Roll investigation.
He's living lavish somewhere right now. He's
He's
rich.
been bribed twice.
He's had so much horse meat.
Oh, fuck. He's made a living off of trading horse meat.
17.
You think you see him, and you turn around the wrong guy, and as you kind of grab him on the arm and spin him around, you realise that's not him. Do you remember his name?
No.
No? So you go to ask about him, but unfortunately only really being able to describe a man that you sent to get a horse, you're not really met with much response. You know that Aresia knew about it, but currently she seems to have gone about her day and is off somewhere now. Eventually, the tents all go up, the flags are raised, armories are constructed so that there's places for weapons and things like that. You see another familiar face in... Let me just fucking open this file so I've got everyone's name. In Kristen, the quartermaster that you spoke to before. You see him come
He
in
sold our
with
stuff, right?
Yes, you see him come in with a cart of things all under tarp and disappear off into the distance. It's quite difficult to see the clearing in its entirety this late in the night. You gotta turn my lights off. It's nighttime now. That's the best I could do. That's the green screen I have. So, the kind of vibe is that everyone's setting up and then resting, likely because they've been doing a march that has been without proper rest for some time. It doesn't seem as though they somehow got lost in fog. You don't know whether or not that's because Oresia led them around it, but they're on time. So you're unsure as to whether or not the journey was arduous. What do you guys want to do? You begin to be surrounded with loads of people, all of them kind of milling about doing their own thing. Some acknowledge you, some don't.
I'll say to everyone, like, oh, we should touch base with the quartermaster guys and see if he's got any new wares for sale that might be of use, or food for you, Vice.
Spell scroll.
Or
I
that.
still
Yes,
got linked
yes,
to myself, just spell scrolls.
We should go check in with him and see if he's got anything.
Yeah, let's go check Kristen. It's been a while.
Mm.
See what he's got along, in his wares.
Okay. Do you all go?
We
Yep.
should look for provisions as well, Vice. Stocking up on food would be a good choice.
And I believe there was some talk of a hen.
Rations, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Livia keeps talking about this hen, but to me, like, look at what we get up to while we're out in our journeys and stuff.
Take a hen.
It's just another like, liability. You know what hens are like. Trying to get out your hands.
Can you at least promise me that when we're done with this stupid army and we get our cart and Adana back, that then we'll get a hen? Then we can keep it on the cart.
Okay.
Firstly, the
sure.
army is not stupid, and secondly, if you can't defend a hen, I don't really favour.
Man,
There's no need to be nasty.
do you want to get a hen just to prove this guy wrong? That
Yeah.
he can't defend
You can
it.
name it
Just do
Adana.
Yeah. Scared! We made an executive decision to not get a hen, so we're gonna get a hen.
Okay, well, let's see what the quartermaster's got.
Yep.
Okay. He greets
You
you
go.
all as expected. You all move over as a group, I assume. Everyone's happy with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can I just greet him with a very kind of firm handshake?
Yeah.
And yep.
He kind of grips your wrist
Kristen.
the same. Yes.
How was the journey?
Well, quite arduous. It was particularly difficult for me. I've got the most of things to get over these routes, and it's not very easy with a cart such as mine. Most people are just carrying tents and things, but I've got quite a lot of things here to bring with me.
Did the men not offer you any aid?
Well, yes, we did it as a group effort, but it's difficult nonetheless. I mean, I'm here, nothing's missing, so I can't complain too much.
And how fares Ezekiel?
She's well. I have not seen her for a day or two. I believe her duties keep her busy, but she mentioned that she would return when she could, so I believe everything is good.
Excellent. Well, that's good to hear. I must ask, we have had quite an arduous journey setting up this camp. As you can see, we picked quite the spot.
Yes,
But the
you've
fights
been,
have been-
quite successful, Sergeant. Well done.
Many thanks. However, the fights have been long and arduous, and as a token of charity, I would ask that maybe you could give us your best possible prices on this one occasion, that we might look to procure future spots and keep this fight going. And I'm just going to kind of just lean in and maybe just squeeze his hand a little bit tighter as I say that. Smile.
Roll intimidation.
Thank you. Intimidation. $22.
Okay. He kind of squeezes back, and like grins slightly, and says to you, "You're not the first to make such a suggestion, Sergeant, and I'll do it this one time. But know that this is not something that I can offer all the time, and certainly whilst your patronage is appreciated, even with a small discount, I do deal with everyone of all ranks in the military."
Your charity will be appreciated, Miranda, and you can expect plenty of business from us moving forward, as you know. We're all in this war together, and every little bit counts. I thank you.
Certainly. And he kind of steps away from you a little bit. You can see that you have intimidated him. He seems a little bit like smaller in front of you, but he does also know that like he has bigger friends than you if he needs them.
They ain't here.
Not currently.
Yeah,
Well,
not cool.
So, you guys can basically buy whatever you want from Kristen. He keeps all of his stuff well stocked. He's the primary point of trade for the Starvin military. And essentially anything in the... Where's my books?
Discerning Merchant's price guide?
Yes, anything in the Discerning Merchant's Guide is available, pretty much. If you want food and stuff like that, which won't be in the Discerning Merchant's Guide, just tell me what you want and I'll give you a price.
I.e. hens.
Correct, a live hen, yes.
Okay, well,
You know, you might sell live hens in the book.
You may well. It's not
Maybe
in the
so.
book.
God damn.
where's this book now? Hang on. Oh no, it's on Discord, isn't it?
I don't remember.
I have a bookmark for all of the Google
Yeah,
Drive
it was on the
stuff.
Google Drive. I don't know that I can send it in Discord, but I'll try. It might be too big. No, it's not too big. So there you go. It's in Tales of Bela'Dun in the... oh, we should rename it.
There's the link to the Google Drive if you because that's got.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Hey, Sergeant, and I'm gonna hit him on his shoulder and be like, "Well done, well done getting the your discount there. I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, I didn't see you as someone that could convince anyone of anything, but well done, Sergeant."
It's a backhanded compliment. I've had it in my pocket for a while.
You know?
Yes.
Well done. Honestly, well done.
Well, I'm not associating
Yes!
with...
Let's go
I'm
shopping.
not associating with rabble. I do carry some weight around here, but please do use this opportunity to stock up and make the most of it. I doubt he'll be so charitable next time.
Okay, yes, Sergeant, I'm gone. I wanna go over to Kristen.
Okay. Ration packs are, I believe, what did we say? 4 silver a piece or 3 for a gold? Was that the deal?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to stock up on rations, he has, I would say, you could probably stock up to like 40.
I will take 10.
I will.
Very reserved of you.
So if you want to put the gold in
no,
to
I
have...
won't. I won't take any. Don't worry about that.
Okay, Livia's broke. If you want to... If you want to stock up to, any number 40 or lower in rations, just remove the gold to the tune of that amount. Either 4 silver a piece or 3 for 1 gold. So if you're going to buy 30, then it would be 10 gold.
I will buy 12 in total.
Okay. If anybody wants any specific individual item, just let me know. Vice, I assume you ask about a live hen?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Roll for him.
Without going through the whole thing, he's basically like, a slightly odd item. I can certainly look to have it procured. We do bring some livestock on longer expeditions. I don't know whether or not they have any to spare, but I can inquire for you and come back to you maybe in the morrow if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you wouldn't mind, good sir, that would be really helpful. See, I am, we're looking for we've been looking for a hen for quite some time.
I see.
Although this is the first time that we've asked someone for one.
Been looking for this for years. I never thought to ask.
It hasn't been a very successful
We
journey.
just like we should get a hen. We should get a hen.
Yeah. One of these days we'll get a hen.
We could have
Totally.
eggs. Eggs in the
We should
morning.
have eggs
God's
with
willing, one will present itself.
Do you have flour, Vice?
eggs. Do I have what? Sorry.
Flour.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of flour.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can
Yeah.
provide you something like a hen or any sort of livestock that you might need for a gold and 8 silver with the discount.
Livia, this is a discount, right? This is a bargain. Let's do it. Let's
How
do
much
it. Why
was
not?
it?
It's a what was it? It was 1 gold and 8 silver.
Yes.
2 gold! 1 each.
2 gold.
Come on.
What's the
Special
point of
head.
us having a
Can we get a
discount
corner?
here?
Should we
now?
call
We've
the
got a
head team?
discount
You
here.
just gave him the money.
Livia, we've got an
What was that?
opportunity. We
A reverse
gave
negotiation.
us an opportunity. to save money. And you're like,
Oh.
2 gold.
Final offer, 2 gold. Way over the asking price.
It was such a good deal.
You want just 1 then, yeah?
We have eggs
Please.
for the rest of our life for 2
Well,
gold.
As long as
How-
the hen survives.
Yeah, we're
Hey!
gonna have to look after this freaking hen. You know that, yeah?
It might be
Easier
prudent
to
to buy
manage than a
2
horse. We'll be
hens.
fine.
Gosh, man. If anyone's seeing, you know,
Overhearing this, he's just like, well, I don't think the army are really looking to part with them. I can definitely get you 1. I think that purchasing 2 is going to start taking food out of the mouths of our other
Oh, we
men
don't
here.
want
So
2, just 1.
no, just 1. Just 1's fine.
okay, I'll see what I can do. I've just
Lovely.
pasted something into Bela'Dun and Beyond chat that is the cost of like basic foodstuffs.
I'm like jumping up and down in like excitement with next device. Like, we're gonna get ahead.
We are gonna get
We're
ahead.
gonna get ahead.
What? I think we should probably ask Kristen if he can grab us like, I don't know, like a bag of corn. I don't know what do they eat?
Like corn,
I think corn's a good shout.
corn,
Yeah,
We should buy
corn.
some corn.
Yeah.
seeds.
Seeds.
Corn on the
Shit like
cob.
that.
Yeah, seeds and
Barbecue
corn,
food.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Kristen, what was your getting us the hen? Would you mind trying to procure us some seed and maybe some corn or
Well,
something?
I have that sort of thing on the cart already. I can sell that
Oh,
to
do
you
you?
now. Yes, no
Oh,
problem.
fantastic.
How much
You're
do you want
a
to buy? How
legend.
many days do you want to feed this hen for?
Fucking
Ah,
hell,
like-
hens are gonna this hen's
Couple
gonna cost us
weeks?
more than everyone else.
Probably.
A couple of weeks. You only want to keep the hen for a couple of weeks.
Nah, we'll find more
After
corn
all
by
this time.
then. Obviously.
Okay.
I'd say you're looking at like probably a copper for like 2 meals for the hen.
Okay.
Oh, so like, what's a gold's worth of seed gonna get us?
Well, a gold is 100 copper, so if it's a copper for 200 feeds worth.
There, that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We can't spend all this time trying to get a hen and then only feed it twice and wither and die. For the
Here's
sake of
4
a
days
gold.
food.
200 feed for hen.
I think that's probably like an inordinate amount of like seed or what did you say, corn for him to carry. So I'd probably say make it like 60 like meals worth of corn.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Okay.
works out to price wise. It's 30 copper. So what's
Okay.
that? 3 silver?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, so you can mark that down. Does anybody want anything from the Discerning Merchants Guide that I put in Discord?
No, I'm all good. Does anyone want to get any health pots I know you have a resident
They're in there.
healer, but
He
that
has a
doesn't mean that
bunch.
you should, you know, not have your own backup.
Scroll's
Yeah.
also available, Taryn, but you need to be able to cast the spell that the scroll relates to.
Yeah. Specifically set it to sorcerer spell.
Yes. Let me know if you are buying any, because it's useful for me to know what you guys actually have in your inventory.
Yeah. I'm just having...
Okay, so
How
let me just...
much are health pots?
Health pots
Someone, please?
are
They start at 50.
50 gold for a
Gold.
2d4 plus 2.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I'm alright.
Yeah.
That would be
Every time.
45 gold for you, though.
Yeah, no. Pass.
Okay. So,
Oh, a healer,
Livia,
mate.
Livia, are you buying anything?
No.
Vice, are you buying anything outside of the foodstuffs?
Yes.
I'll
yes,
give
please.
Vice 10 gold towards food.
Okay.
Whoa, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Well, he's feeding, like, you're buying all the ingredients and feeding us all these awesome meals
Okay.
all the time. Like, the least I could do is give you some gold for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough, Livia. Thank you.
So if you're
I'm a
buying,
good egg.
um,
Yeah, now we've got eggs!
if you're buying
Yeah.
10 gold's worth of food, was that the amount?
Yeah. I'm not going to be specific about what I get right
Okay,
now.
that's
Would you
fine.
want-
So
would
just
you want me to
say,
be specific?
well, so that we can write it down in your inventory.
So I'm thinking, is that 1 pound of ginger is 1 gold?
Yes, that's what it says.
My goodness. Okay, and how much is one? How many feeds or how many uses 1 pound of ginger?
I don't know. It's a good question. These are the
1
kind of
pound
the
of
hard-hitting
ginger?
D&D questions.
You use, like, this much of ginger. It's like 100 gingers.
Yeah, it's like a lifetime supply of ginger.
Yeah, you don't need a pound of ginger.
No, but it's not necessarily ginger that he's buying. A piece measuring a little less than 4 inches will weigh 1 ounce, 28.3 grams, and measure about a quarter cup when sliced. 1 whole cup, 1 pound of sliced.
These are the kind of things we go
Yield
to in
about
our D&D.
3
How
cups.
much does
Still
ginger
cooking
weigh?
stream.
That's really not helpful to me, Google. For cooking large quantities, 1 pound of fresh sliced ginger will yield about 3 cups. So I'm going to say that 1 pound of ginger is about 6 uses of ginger. And to make it easier, I'm going to call it 10, because then the math is easier.
Okay.
So-
I'm just gonna quickly concur with Livia that an army marches on its pitch in 7 gold as well for the shopping list.
What the hell, you guys? Okay. All right. Let me just.
Put it towards something hearty.
I
then let
would
me.
like turn my head and just sort of be like, I don't have a lot to spare, so like, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's fine. We'll just starve.
It says
Just
that
as well.
1 gold could buy a goat, so I'm going to call it 5 uses of
I was gonna
the
say,
main
yeah.
ingredient.
So
So using that table there, Vice, spend
Yeah.
as much gold as you need to spend and write down as much food as you need to write down. All you really need to keep in mind is that you can't carry everything,
okay.
and also some of it rots.
Yeah.
You can preserve some.
You
of
can
it.
preserve,
I can preserve. Yeah, I can preserve
meat.
some.
You're not going to be able to
Yep.
preserve veg. Ginger's going to be fine if you just want all of your shit to taste like ginger. that's kind of going to last a short while, like a root vegetable like that.
That's fine. I'm gonna need to grab some of that garlic as well, man.
But make sure that you
That's fine.
convert these like main side or flavor things into actual food, so that when I ask you about them, you know what they are. It's also worth putting like list all of that under Zen 30.
Zen
4, 3,
30.
5. Yeah, that's the date.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you go to use some of that stuff and it's like 4 months later, it's not going to have lasted. You need some sort of containment pouch, possibly magical, maybe not. It's up to you. But if you had something like that, you could probably keep these things for longer. Something that like keeps them in some sort of cold stasis. I don't know, some crazy invention like that.
So put them in Taryn's gloves. Glove.
Just hold them, constantly casting the spell over and over and over again.
Just constantly
Every
holds
6
them.
seconds.
That'll work, right?
So, to cut this down, Livia, are you buying anything? No?
No.
Vice, you've got your food list on the right there. Turn it into actual food. Were you buying anything else?
No.
No? Nemea, are you buying anything?
No.
Taryn, are you buying anything?
I put it in the chat, but I wanted 1 scroll of mending.
Mending
It's a
is like
cantrip,
it's a cantrip. I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not how you spell. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, actually, I do want to buy something.
Yep,
I'll wait until you're done.
that's fine. Tell me it now whilst I'm looking at this.
The ring of jumping. Well, that gives me specifically what does that gives me an advantage in jumps.
I will check. Bear with me.
Because I need to be
Raises your jumping distance.
I need to be climbing trees. You know what I'm saying?
Just jump straight to the top.
More successfully.
If this is going to be a true hobby of mine,
yeah. I mean, you know, it's become a
Parkour.
thing. Might as well, parkour.
Yeah. So
If we use those
I know.
expanded feats, there's one in there that's like climber of some kind. I can't remember what it said, but
sorry, did you call it a ring of jumping?
Ring of jumping, yeah.
So Taryn, you've got the gold price and everything from the thing, right?
yeah, it just says 15 GP. So
Yeah,
just
it's all fine. You know that you have to use, well, +5's not going to apply to mending, but you would have to use the scroll stats rather than your own spell modifying stats. So while wearing this ring, you can. So the scroll on the thing says that it would be a +5 if the spell required like it to hit,
there's an attack
and
bonus
and the
thing.
spell save DC would be 13. But
I need to
mending
write that next to lightning bolt.
mending doesn't have those things. You say you also got a lightning bolt one. I thought you used your
Yeah.
lightning bolt scroll.
I used 1. I had 2.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, that's a 3rd level. So the spell save is 15, and it's a +7. As for the Ring of Jumping, it allows you to essentially cast the jump spell as a bonus action, but you can only target yourself. So jump spell 5e. It triples your jump distance. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's height as well as... Yeah, it is, because there's a way to... Yeah, here's the rules for jumping. So... Well, that's not...
There's another small thing that I want to purchase, or like a couple of small items.
Yeah, what are they?
Basically, I want a small bit of cloth somewhat similar to my clothes, some
Okay.
thread, and a...
Okay, cool. You know you don't need thread or a needle to mend cloth onto your clothes. Are you going to try
I
and...
don't want to put it on. I want to try and attach it and see if the magic seeps into that new piece of cloth.
Okay,
Ooh.
cool. Let me find the rules for jumping in the player handbook, because it is less for a jump upwards than it is for a jump forwards. I don't know whether or not this is going to come up quickly. Oh. Nope, that's not it. Jumping! Your strength determines how far you can jump. When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. When you make a standing long jump, you can only leap half that distance. Either way, each foot you clear on the jump costs a foot of movement, so you'd be able to triple that. The rule assumes that the height of your jump doesn't matter, such as a jump across a stream or a chasm. At your DM's option, you must succeed on DC 10, blah, 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 blah. So high jump. When you make a high jump, so if you were trying to jump up a tree, you leap into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus strength. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. If you make a high jump from a standing position, it's half that distance. So what's your strength?
-1.
So you can jump with this ring 6 feet directly up, as long as you have a 10-foot run-up. If you don't have a 10-foot run-up, the height of you jumping directly upwards from standing still is 3 feet.
That's okay.
now we
Still-
know.
With
why
magic,
you-
you can jump 3 feet upwards. That's how weak you are.
with magic.
How the
I
fuck did you
Wait.
manage to climb up that bloody, like, hub?
Well, involved no jumping, but this explains why he can't land.
3 plus strength,
Um,
yeah, it's 2 feet.
But my acrobatics is so high,
6.
like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like that ring is in the wrong using the wrong attribute.
Category?
It should, yeah, category.
I don't know about that. If you were trying to cartwheel, then I would say acrobatics.
I just looked up the average basketball player's vertical leap is about 3 feet without magic. So
Yeah.
play basketball.
Yeah, but with magic, if I fail, it's 3 feet.
No fail. That's
That's
just
not
if
fail
you
or
did it
pass, it
standing
just is.
still.
Oh, if I just did it standing still, I
Yes,
would
a
jump
standing high jump
like most people.
with magic is 3 feet, yeah.
All right. Or 6 feet if it's successful.
6 feet with a 10-foot run up.
With a 10-foot run up, sorry.
Yes. Well, that's to jump up. You can jump forwards further.
Yeah, but still, I mean, in most situations, I tend to have a lot of space. I should have at least 10
You could
foot.
definitely get a 10-foot run up to try and climb a tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give me-
you're not going to have a
yeah,
10-foot run up the tree, though.
Yeah,
No, that's where the jump starts.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
what was
Give me
it?
the ring.
Three
Give me the ring,
plus
Kristen.
Give me the ring.
Two.
Give me the ring,
2 plus 6.
Kristen.
But you're still only jumping with a 10-foot run up. You're still only jumping like your height. Trees don't tend to
pretty
be your height, is all I'm thinking. But it's fine. You buy the ring.
You
The
don't
ring is
know
yours.
when-
You have
you
the
don't
ring
know
of
when-
jumping. I believe it requires attunement. Let me just check. It does require attunement. Do you have enough attunement slots? You only have 3. You can only be attuned to 3 things at the same time.
Hang on. Where are my achievement slots?
They're not listed on your character sheet. You just need to know what 3 things you're attuned to.
Yeah, I'm attuned to my shield,
Your armor,
my armor, and now it
possibly
would be
your
this.
sword.
Oh,
So- Your armor requires attunement. Your sword requires attunement. And what was your other thing?
my shield.
I don't
I
think
got
your shield requires
a
attunement.
skull symbol of a skull fist, skull shield. Ornate.
Is that the only description you have of it? I
Yeah,
think it was
it's
just
a
well
shield,
made.
Ornate symbol of a skull fist.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
do
it.
anything though, does it? It's just a.
It gives me +2 AC.
That is a standard shield. You're not attuned to that.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
So this is your last attunement slot essentially.
yeah, but if I get rid of the item or if I take it off, then I'm okay, right?
Yeah. You can swap out attunement slots in the same time it takes you to attune to a new item.
Okay, cool. Let's do that.
Taran, what were the rest of the small things you wanted to purchase?
A small bit of cloth, similar to the cloth that
Yes.
I've got for clothing, a needle, and some thread.
You can get all of that for like 2 silver.
Sick.
Anything else before we move on to Asteros? I will take that as a no. Asteros, are you buying anything?
Asteros is broke. Asteros, I don't think can buy anything. Been having a quick look through the merchant's guide, and all a little bit steep for me, so I'm probably going to have to say no.
Okay. Okay, cool. So that gets rid of that, and we shall move forth. Let me close this. Okay.
Also, just as a quick aside, I've been thinking about spell stuff.
Uh,
And what?
how
sorry?
much gold did you give me again?
Livia gave you 10.
Yeah, and Astros gave you, I think, 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
You might have
But
to,
that was for food.
yeah, you might have to divide some of this food out amongst the party to carry it all.
Yeah.
So, as you guys do your various buying and selling with Kristen, and make your way over to one of the smaller tents that looks as though they're being just sort of put up and then left for people to come back to later. Asteros, you inquire with one of the privates that's passing you by, and you recognise that actually he seems to be a corporal that you don't really know the name of, but you've seen him around. And he just mentions that some of the tents over there are kind of fair game, and you can take one if you want to. As you guys are heading over to this sort of more concentration of tent area, you see... roll perception for me, everyone.
Getting perception. That's
Oh, I don't know what that is.
9.
It didn't
I
do
don't know
the
what
plus
apostrophe 7 would have
yeah,
done.
it would have just added the 7.
15.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, 18.
18.
Oh,
do,
no, wait. I'm not plus 7. It's a 2. 13. I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
do you want to roll for Nemea?
Yeah. Perception,
Vice.
you said, right?
Yeah, perception.
Mhm.
Vice, you see in the distance, amidst the kind of dark and rabble of soldiers.
13.
Yeah, Vice is the only one. You see Aresia, and she's speaking to a somewhat older woman. You see them have a bit of a back and forth, and then Aresia turns, kind of catches eyes with you, and points over towards you five as a group. The older woman then turns and kind of looks where Aresia is pointing and starts making her way over, and Aresia disappears into the background, just going back about her day. She is as I mentioned, slightly older woman. She seems to be wearing tight, well-made clothing. She has kind of boots that stop just a little bit below her knee. She's almost riding the kind of military equivalent. She's almost wearing the kind of military equivalent of like a horse riding outfit, like quite tight and proper, almost suit-like get-up, but with flourishes of armor. She's got like a sort of loose breastplate and a shoulder piece, but only on one shoulder. And you see that she's wearing kind of a belt that has armor around some of the outer part of her leg, but nothing down the leg. And she has these boots. She has her hair tied up tight into a kind of bun at the back, and you can see that it's partly greyed. It's fine. It's because she's controlling the mayor for a sec, Adam.
Oh.
She looks a little uncomfortable and possibly slightly high-strung as she approaches all of you. You notice that she doesn't address Asteros, sorry. I keep saying it like Westeros, but it's not. She doesn't address specifically Asteros. She looks at all of you and almost waits for you to gather slightly as you're sort of collectively milling about and looking into the tent and setting up outside slightly. She waits for you to gather before she goes into her piece, but you can see her making some base pleasantries, welcomes and whatnot. I assume you all gather round, unless you don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's gather.
Yeah.
Okay. So she looks at you all and says, yes, it seems this group is despite your origins, that you've proven to be highly successful. When it was put together, there was questions as to whether or not it would work, which is why we put both Asteros here and Aresia, and she motions behind her, but Aresia is sort of long gone, in charge. Now that we have a forward hold in the Wandering Wood, there are several tasks that are to be completed. And since it seems that this group was instrumental in this achievement, you've garnered enough favour to choose your next assignment.
Ooh.
Choose, huh?
I'm sorry. Did we get her name? Sorry.
Do we know her?
You can roll history, Asteros. None of the rest of you recognise this woman. And nobody has asked her name, so no, you did not.
I was
get
going to
her
say,
name.
like, yeah, I mean,
Hi, it's nice to meet you. My name is Livia.
Yes, I'm well aware. I'm Ferdy. Nice to meet you.
Ferdy, is that?
It is.
Ferdy.
Greetings.
Was that your history, Astros?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't remember Ferdy at all.
I can't even remember yesterday with the three.
She has the aura and almost audacity of somebody that you assume is higher rank, but you're not too sure.
Okay. Milady, pray tell, what relation are you to the Starvan military?
Yes,
We've not been acquainted.
Not as yet. I have many things to attend to. I hold the rank of Major, Sergeant. Nice to make your acquaintance, finally. I've heard quite a lot about you. And she, like, reaches out a hand to sort of loosely shake yours.
I'm going to shake it right back. And a Major? Well, we have many fine magic casters among us. Motioning vaguely to Taran and Nemea.
Yes, I've heard that's one of the proficiencies of this group, and perhaps what has led to your success so far. As I mentioned, I'm quite busy, but it is a requirement that I assign this task to you at your choosing, and you then go about it. Likely from the morrow onwards. She reaches into a side satchel and pulls out 3 scrolls. They're all tightly wound, but not bound in any way. And she kind of motions out for you to take them, Asteros, but like in a gesture that is open for anyone really to take them. One of the things that you all recognize about this woman, aside from hearing that she's a major and recognizing that to be one of the highest ranks in the Starva military, is that she seems to consider you all basically the same rank.
Nah, him included. Nice.
Alright.
So, what are the options, if I can ask?
Oh, I believe we these missives state further information, but there is an issue with the lake over there, and that it's taking up some of the space. Some of the men wanted to have it looked into. Obviously, the scouting effort to head further into the wood, and I believe she leans in slightly close to this one. She's there has been some issue with some of the overseeing of certain tasks or goods amidst the men, and there is some work to be done on that front. You can read them all if you want to.
Yeah.
Where are they?
I
She just
appreciate
has
that your
them
time is
handed out
valuable.
from you.
However,
Oh, okay.
we must make an informed decision. Can we just kind of open up each scroll?
Yeah,
maybe
no
hand them
problem.
out?
So, as you read the first one, Asteros, 1, 2, or 3, your choice.
Let's go with number 1.
Okay. So this task essentially says that you would need to investigate the lake. They're looking to find, essentially, if it's just a basic lake, then the kind of information is that they've not trusted anything that they've come across in this wood so far, whether or not there is some sort of illusion on it. Your task would be pretty much to make a report of your findings and then come back to them. But the general understanding is that you're going to need to go into the lake to...
Are we all reading through this at the same time?
Asteros is kind of holding it up, reading it. You can look at it over his shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, I would pitch in at the same time as he's reading about this lake and everything. I'd be like, yeah, I could do that. I've got some spells that allow me to breathe.
Wait, like into the lake?
As Nemea says this behind, she's like, well, yes, my dear, it would be necessary to excavate the entirety of the location to be sure that it does not harness any sort of malintent.
There could be something in there that would kill us.
Exactly.
Oh,
And
gosh.
perhaps some of the men. You would be, I'm aware, as you mentioned there, something Parvis, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. Whilst you mentioned that you have some capability to traverse the water, we would see to it that Kristen, the quartermaster, if you've met him, I'm not sure, he would furnish you with some potions that would allow you to undergo this task.
Okay.
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 Number 2.
Number 2. So take scroll number 2, open it up, have a look.
Yep. So the second scroll mentions a need to scout further into the Wandering Wood, not with the intent of setting up any sort of forward post, despite the fact that map-wise you guys are almost 2 to 3 months, approximately 3 months travel to the exact center of the wood. You don't know whether or not there is anything at the center of the wood. You just know that it's where the attack effort is sort of being focused on until any real hard evidence comes through. Nemea and Asteros, you both came through in your last mission, having interrogated that wood elf with some information as to an elven capital. Asteros, you would have had some time to relay that to your superiors. So the assumption throughout the military now is that you're essentially looking for any kind of elven capital, wherever it may be. The idea is that it's likely in the center of the wood. Whether or not that's true, they don't know. So this task would be to head probably about a month's journey into the Wandering Wood with a view to find any kind of scouting party from their side, generally scout out into the woods yourselves and see what you can find, with the intention of reporting back before more units then move up to that position in a kind of uncomfortable holding point before pressing forward again, and essentially taking the forefront of trying to locate this elven capital wherever it may be.
Okay, that seems a slightly little advanced, so we've just come off a big mission. Let's have a look at number 3.
Okay. Number 3 mentions that a relatively new squad has come back from mission from their mission after a number of months and has rejoined the Starver military effort. It was noted that around this time onwards, there have been several accidents around the Starver military camp, all of which can either be directly tied to the new squad's appearance in terms of them being involved, or reports of at least one of this squad being seen nearby when one of these accidents took place. The only way to investigate the squad without any sort of bias is to use you guys, because you're the only group that has been constantly away throughout the entirety of the time between them returning and now.
Mystery.
The intention would be to interrogate that troop and find out who's doing these things, whether or not they're truly accidents. The suspicion is that perhaps there's some sort of sabotage.
Very intriguing.
I like
Okay.
the lake job.
I'm going to just turn to the group and sorry, I've forgotten her name. Is it Thea? Thenia?
Who?
30?
Oh,
30?
30.
Yeah,
Sorry.
30.
I thought you were forgetting one of the groups now. You said I turned to the group and they were like, is it Thea? Thenia?
Pardon me, 30. I know you're busy. I know you must rush off. Let us just quickly get a feel for which of these may be the most suitable for our group, and then we will give you our decision.
Very
We're gonna
well.
just-
I expected some time for deliberation of the sorts.
We won't keep you. This will be quick.
Very well.
So we're just going to turn back to the group and just relay those 3 scrolls in their entirety, 1 through 3. If any of you have any preference for which of these you wish to partake in, make it known with reasoning, and I will bear it in mind before we tender our decision.
Immediately, Taran just says the lake, but says nothing else, just the lake, and looks fucking like sparkles in his eyes.
Okay.
Go on.
No, go ahead, Olivia. Sorry.
No, you spoke first. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not willing to kind of like travel much deeper into the Wandering Woods, after what we've just come from.
Yeah, I agree.
Personally, so I wouldn't go for the second one. I'm inclined to do either the first scroll or the third scroll. I'm happy with either one of those two.
Very good.
But out of the two, I'm probably more curious about the first one.
I would agree. No, the first one, the lake.
Sure.
The lake, yeah.
I quite like the idea of trying to find out if there's someone dodgy
Sabotage.
going on in their midst.
third.
Funny squad.
Yeah, the fucky squad.
Fuck is it?
But my
Investigate the
second
squad.
choice would be the what's the word?
Lake?
Lake, yeah.
That's the word. Yeah, that is the word.
Very good.
That's cool. It's got- I mean, I read a book somewhere about getting iron boots to take us deeper into the lake. I mean, I can't remember exactly where it was. I read this book. I mean, I read so many books.
I believe that was a
I
child's
didn't know you could read.
folktale about a small elf boy.
Yeah, it was an elf boy. He lives in the forest.
I believe he wore green, lots of green.
He did, yeah, he did. He was an elf.
Sorry.
Right.
Private Heartley, what about you?
I like the idea of the lake.
Okay, interesting.
What the fuck?
And what about you?
Laughing at Amy's messages in the group.
What the
Oh.
fuck?
Well, I appreciate. I think we can safely say that the capital can certainly wait, and to be down between the lake and potential sabotage, you must appreciate. We must deal with any traitors before our enemies. Therefore, we will decide on investigating this group that is sabotaging our war efforts.
That makes sense.
Very good.
Very good, Somnitiel. It is a task that was given to me in confidence, and I advised at the time that a squad such as yours would likely be one of the few that could actually undertake it, so I'm glad that it will be resolved, and I would expect shortly.
You have my word,
She
and
Give
I'm
out your
just going to
word.
bow deeply.
She takes the other 2 scrolls from you, assuming you offer them up, and puts them back in her satchel. She allows you some time to look over the final scroll before kind of motioning for you to hand it back.
You can have it.
And she scrunches it slightly and is just like, my apologies. It was my intention to allow you to keep hold of the missive that would hold your duties for the next few days. However, this one does contain sensitive materials. I understand, as you've mentioned, that you are a caster-based group. Can one of you dispose of this immediately, if that's possible?
Sure.
And she passes it the clump of paper, the little scrunched pile, and waits for you to do this in front of her, Taryn.
I would use
You cut off, sorry, your what?
my glove to just burn it up.
Okay. What does the glove do in terms of fire, is it?
Lights campfires, does fire damage. So I assume there'd be some kind of fire.
Yeah, for the sake of lighting a campfire.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure
no,
you can...
touch action, ignite flammable material.
Okay, cool. So you do so, and the glove kind of glows red for a moment. A flame takes place, and it seems to burn into cinders and dissipate around your hand. She looks at you, kind of head held high. She's quite a tall person, and she looks over at you and just says, "Very good, well done. I will leave you to it. You are looking for the..." and she leans in once more, noticing again that she's kind of returned to her slightly louder voice. "You are looking for the Serenity Squad. I will expect to hear from you once more when this task has been completed. Simply ask for me throughout the men, and you will be shown to my quarters. Good night." And she turns and walks away from you all.
Very good. So, how ironic that we our first major foe fought together will actually be some of our own. I suggest we rest up and in the morning begin our investigation.
Yes, sir. Well suggested.
Excellent. Should we make our way over to that empty tent?
Sleep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Josh, does there seem to be, from what I can gather, anywhere that anyone has set up any kind of like religious or spiritual place, like somewhere where like people would go to pray or meditate or anything like that?
Not really.
Okay.
You can roll investigation.
Military hate gods.
15.
Okay. You do see the occasional pendant holding the penchant for one of the gods, but outside of your own obvious flair for Arella and Asteros's obvious flair for Gaia, it's not... There doesn't seem to be any sort of one location, but you do see the occasional person harboring some sort of, you know,
Okay.
luck
I'm
of the
just going to say
gods.
to Astros, if you bear with me, I'd like to take some time to myself. I won't be long, and I won't stray far.
No rush, my dear.
I'm going to walk off and try and find a quiet
I
place
want to follow her.
near the
Okay.
lake, where I can just sit down and sort of meditate. Not meditate like as its truest sense, but normally I would like offer up something at the temple and then sort of pray and have some quiet time. So as close to that as I can get, I guess.
Okay. Nemea, are you following her without the intention of her like seeing you do so?
No, I will follow her and, you know, my presence be known. Don't have to say anything.
You're more than welcome to join me. I feel like it's been a very challenging and strange few weeks that we've had. Nothing quite like what I've encountered or experienced before. And as blessed as I feel I am from my goddess, I don't know. I feel like I've learned a lot, and I feel more confused than ever. I think I just need to spend some time if not trying to commune with her directly, just sort of feel at peace and feel like I can connect with her once more as much as I used to, maybe.
I agree. I feel like after seeing the visions of, what I assume is, my entity where I receive my powers, I haven't been feeling myself, and I also want to just take some time to just sit for a moment. It doesn't feel like we've sat in a while.
I agree. Well, let us sit together and pray for our divine ones and see if we can come out of it feeling, if not enlightened, a little bit less burdened.
Yes,
And we'll go find somewhere to sit quietly.
I light a
relax.
candle.
Okay. As
We will light a
you
candle.
as you both sit down relatively close to the lake's edge before the ground becomes sort of soggier and wet, you look out at the night sky above you, the first time in a long while that you've been able to see the sky properly whilst resting in the forest. And Nemea awkwardly fumbles around her pack and pulls out a candle, and you're taken aback for a moment and then realise that you too have some candles, and you both awkwardly light your candles at the lake's edge, two small flames flickering in the distance, as the rest of the army winds down and the clangs of everybody moving their armours and whatnot begins to quieten and eventually stop. After 30 minutes, an hour, you two stand back up, head back over to your tents to find 6 beds inside that seemingly came with the tent. You're able to use your bed rolls in your packs to take one, a bed each. Unless you guys are sleeping together, I don't know what you do. Top and tails. Nobody's questioning it.
Bed each, please.
Betty.
Huh?
Everybody gets a full long rest as normal. Any remaining exhaustion, though I don't think there is any, would go down by 1. The hen is currently not here, but
Yeah.
We'll be soon.
I can't wait for that hen, boy.
Do I think of a good name for it?
Oh,
One of our
I've got
party.
so many.
Go on, let's talk names.
Hetty,
Let's talk names.
Agatha,
Henrietta,
like there's
Jimi
just so
Hendrix.
many.
Stephen
I think Agatha's a
Colbert,
great
Steve Hen
option.
Colbert.
I like it.
Henrietta. Do you say Henrietta? Oh my gosh.
Henrietta,
Oh, Henrietta.
Agatha.
I like Agatha.
Agatha.
Clockita.
No, that's too close to home, guys.
So, as morning eventually rolls round, you are met to a familiar voice and a not so familiar squawking of a creature in a small cage, wooden box with a sort of mesh-like edges, as Kristen pops his head through the tent and just goes, "Hello, I don't mean to wake you, it's not too late." Which you just sort of hear like, "Rah!"
Yeah.
Ah, God.
It like flutters its wings. Goes once more.
Oh, what is it?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Kavanagh, but you did purchase this, so I'll have to leave it with you. And
Oh, just put it on the side.
no, it's just that the cage isn't part of the deal. I'm afraid the military itself is. It's not for sale. They're having to use it to transport the livestock along with the rest of the military and hold on to them.
Wait a second.
That's fine. She can sleep over here with me.
I was under the impression that it would come with a cage. There's no cage?
There isn't, I'm afraid. We don't have many transport cages. We sort of keep them locked up in a cart with doors.
But you transported it here in a cage? We
Yes,
now
we-
have the hen, you know?
This is an independent chicken.
There
She
is
can look out.
there
She
is
can
one or
handle
two
herself.
cages for the purposes of moving some of the animals individually if they were to become ill or
Could
need
you
transporting
acquire
from one
a
cart to
cage
another.
for us?
I really only know of this one, and they're using
how
it.
much
I'm
is
afraid. I could
I want to cast
possibly
suggestion on him.
say that again. You want to cast suggestion on him?
I want to give cast suggestion.
Okay, what
on
do you
him.
suggest?
I say.
This
You
isn't
will
the
give
hen you're
us
looking
this
for.
cage, You will give us this cage and leave and and
leave.
go about your day as normal.
Okay.
Right.
Is it a wisdom save?
He doesn't know.
One second.
God.
It is a wisdom save. Yes, yes.
Can't we just let her be free? She can just follow us.
Into
It's only
battle.
for transportation.
What's your DC?
A 16.
Okay. So for a moment, he kind of like goes to a blank look as you say this to him, Vice, and he goes, "No, it's not my cage. That's what I keep telling you. I really have to return it to the various men that are dealing with the livestock for the military."
I failed. I failed.
Yeah, he passed the
Is that
DC, I'm
what
afraid.
I'm just gonna go back. To
So he kind of goes back up to the tent, the door a little bit, and he's like, "So yes, terribly sorry. I sort of have to do this." And he raises the front of the cage and like lifts it slightly, and it like squawks and lands, and he kind of like shakes a foot at it a little bit, and it like ruffles its feathers and walks into the tent a little bit more. And he's like, "Best of luck," and turns around, and you see him seemingly hurriedly taking the cage back to where he got it from. You all now
Eat the
have
breadcrumbs.
this hen.
no, oh no, but
You love her.
What? Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy that we're gonna have like
Eggs.
Eggs.
Think of
But
all
we
the
haven't
cake.
even got a way. We
Now
haven't
the
even got a
chicks-
way to
And
transport
the
her.
pasta.
We need
And the
we need
scramble.
Olivia.
we need a name.
What? Why don't you love her?
It comes over to you, Vice, and is just
said we could
pecking
have
at
her.
your backpack, which is on the floor next to your bed. It's kind of pecking
hey,
at one of the
hey,
side
hey.
patches.
Get out of there! Get
Give it
out
some
of there,
damn.
you!
Give it some seed. Bind it to you. Imprint yourself upon this hen.
Bind it.
I should have
Perform
told
the
you that
ritual.
I don't really do pets. I should have told you this before we got this.
Her. You just need to love her.
Fine. Here. And I'll give you some like a bag of seed or something. Like here, take.
Yes, you promised.
As you take it
Yeah,
out and pass it over,
I
the
promise-
hen is like watching the flow of seed and like starts moving over towards you, Livia.
Very
Very slowly, just like hoppily following.
I'm gonna do a little trail. and I'm gonna leave a little pile of it next to my bed
Okay,
where she
cool.
can sleep.
Yeah, it's just pecking at the ground.
I'm
Eating
gonna
the
stroke
seed.
her gently.
Roll animal handling.
Very good.
Oh god.
You shouldn't get so attached, Olivia.
Why? We're not cooking her, Vice.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
Vice, we are not cooking her. Do you know how long it's taken to get the head?
24 hours. 24 hours. Like we got the hen.
The important thing is that we got the hen.
14.
Okay. So as you're sort of stroking it, like each time you run a hand down it, it takes a few steps forwards and then carries on pecking something. As you run the hand down it again, it kind of like shies away and takes a few more steps forward so that you're not touching it properly every time you go to stroke it. It like moves away from you slightly.
It's fine. She'll grow to love.
Mhm. As this squad's commander, I'm making an executive decision. Livia,
No heads.
that hen is your responsibility.
Oh, I hope so.
Name her, love her, but by all means protect her.
Don't
Fine.
name her.
And
Don't
find-
Not.
name her. It's gonna be harder to
Vice.
Also,
Vice, we've had this conversation.
apologies.
About getting back and getting a hen.
Yeah,
Why?
but-
Why are you doing this to me?
We didn't say we were gonna like
Battlefield.
kill her and make her like a part of this crew. We were using
Obviously, if we're using her eggs,
to yeah.
the more we love her, the more she'll feed us.
Okay.
What name are you giving the hen? We need a definite name.
Henrietta.
Henrietta. There we go.
Really? I like what happened to the eggs one. What was that?
What,
Egg-
Agatha? Ooh,
Agatha.
You like Agatha?
Agatha.
I like Agatha.
Okay, Agatha.
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 So cute.
That's
Okay.
cool.
How old is she? Can this be her birthday now?
Let her be
It's
young.
What's the day? What's
Sarah.
the date?
Let her die. Let
Sarah
her be a
1.
spoon.
Mhm.
Agatha. Sarah 1. Birthday. Yay!
There we go.
Agatha, yeah.
Excellent.
Agatha.
Yeah.
Agatha. Ooh,
Agatha. How old is
first
she?
order-
1 year old.
Well,
Let's
say it's
you
the
can
first
roll animal
birthday.
handling to discern the hen's age if you want to try.
yeah, let's do it. Woo. Woo.
He's got good
She's minutes from death.
minutes from death.
Um,
Yes.
count down from 10. That's how long she has.
Breakfast.
She seems to be about a year old,
Okay.
at best guess.
She's old enough to lay eggs, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
She's
Um,
so beautiful to me.
I'm sure shocking grass would do the job.
Whoever my assigned FBI agent is, he must be so confused. Like, it's all the same shit, and then for 3 hours on a Tuesday, I just Google the weirdest fucking stuff. Like,
Your
it's a
FBI
mixture of
agent
D&D
was
like,
stuff
"The fuck
with
is
like
this guy doing?"
How old are hens?
how much is the cost of living? How long does a hen live? How much is a pound of ginger?
Like, this is going to be one extravagant Sunday lunch. Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Say things like that.
So,
Well,
Livia,
if we're lucky, we have 9 more years with her. Let's keep her safe.
we can get this campaign done in 9 years.
Don't you think she's adorable, Nemea? Look at her little beak.
Vice didn't even have 9 years with Fina.
9 days.
Thanks.
What's
She
that?
is the most beautiful hen I have ever seen.
Livia,
Yeah, yeah.
as the hen is your responsibility, you
Yeah.
must find a way of transporting it. I shouldn't have to explain to you. Hens cannot walk as fast as humans. Therefore,
Carry her.
you
I'll get a bag.
you can
I'll
carry.
get a bag.
Okay.
Or
you
a
need to find a way of
sling.
transporting
A
her
sling. That's such a great idea, Nemea.
where she doesn't immediately die enough next engagement.
Why are you talking about her death? She's only been here 5 minutes.
Just saying,
With all of you
perhaps-
bastards.
perhaps a basket, perhaps something you could carry on your back.
Because now
No,
just
just-
got to implement a way that he
Put
can
her in a
kill her.
basket.
Like within he's got enough.
I'm not going to worry about killing the hen. I'm sure you guys are capable of that without my involvement.
Foreshadowing. This episode of the podcast sponsored by hens.
Send us eggs.
Yeah.
Just in
Always
time
buy
for
locally.
Easter.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Easter stream. Cool.
This is our Easter episode.
So, you guys have a hen. You are free to do what you want this morning. You have your tasks set out ahead of you.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm going to check on Agatha.
Okay.
You're just playing with Agatha straight away. Like that's it. Guys, we've lost Olivia. We've lost her. That's it. She's-
Would immediately just get up, pat Astros on the shoulder, and say, "I'm gonna give a quick head start. I'm just gonna wander around, see if I can pick up anything. I'm just gonna."
She loves me.
We have a sizable day ahead of us, Parvis. Are you sure you don't want to stay for some breakfast?
Nah, I'm fine. I got some things I want to think about for myself.
Very well. Meet us back here in 90 minutes. We're going to discuss how we're going to approach this task.
Okay.
Livia, roll animal handling.
Get an egg out its butt.
Not one. The hen just dies.
what's your,
50. Stop
what-
talking about her death.
what's your animal handling?
I don't know. Whatever. I
Plus
roll.
5, apparently.
Is it +5?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's wisdom. Wisdom's my
Okay.
thing.
And yet
around.
you forgot
Fair
the
enough.
Shut up!
What does the 15 get us? An egg?
It does not lay an egg, but it's not reclining from Livia's touch as much as she does this over the next kind of hour.
Leaving me already.
How often does this thing lay an egg?
I don't know. It's new surroundings.
0
guys.
times per
You
hour
wouldn't
so
just
far.
Start laying eggs in a strange new place with strange new people. It's
Okay.
private, I imagine.
Do any of us
Right.
actually... In
Yeah,
game... Sorry, Max. In game, does anyone actually know about hens? Like, do any of us have a background related to farming or agriculture? Or
Well, I
anything?
mean,
I have a
My
friend
family
at
owned
work.
a tavern.
and I'm a
In-game.
Yeah, Vice is a chef.
No.
Yeah. So, I'm just thinking, like, do any of us sort of know how often we can expect eggs out of this hen in-game?
Hex
Character.
hens can lay like 1 to 3 eggs a day in their prime.
Yes.
But this
It's true.
is
I know
a
this.
1-year-old hen.
We had some livestock at the temple.
I see.
No. There is no livestock at the Temple of Arella.
Temple.
But you did live in a major city. It's not uncommon to have passed the bakery that you've been to oftentimes. And you yourself, Asteros, will be familiar with the bakery, having hailed from Starvin. And you're aware that they had a number of hens and were never short of eggs. So enough eggs to make a bread business is the answer that you have so far.
But without knowing how many hens they had.
Out of RP, did I ever tell you guys about how I had a pet chicken once? Like,
did you really?
when I was 6 years old, 6 or 7 years old.
My friend at work has pet chickens. She rescues them.
Well, that's fantastic because my chicken lasted less than 24 hours.
Oh,
all right. Huh?
Did you cook it?
No, I didn't cook it. It got washed into the sea.
That's a much more unexpected answer.
It got washed into the ocean.
Hang on,
like-
were you
the
and the
origin
chicken
story
the
of
only
the
people on the
longest
boat
one.
that you were on?
No,
What else happens in that film with the tiger?
Me and the family were abroad. We were in the Philippines, and Rhoda, my sister, she got like a pet. She got a chick given to her as a gift, like a little chick, right? And I got jealous because I'm like, oh, like I want something like that. I want a little
Someone
chick.
else
And
wanted a hen.
yeah, and they had nothing to give me. They didn't want to give me like the small. They didn't want to give me any more chicks because obviously that's like future livestock. And they had already given Rhoda one. So they this old, dirty, like looking hen or chicken, and then basically we got onto a boat and it got washed off when the waves came onto the boat and flushed it off the boat into the ocean.
That chicken is surfing in heaven now.
All I was left with was the string that I had around its neck, like after the wave, because the chicken was gone. Like it was gone.
how old were you at this time?
So he was 6.
About 6.
You were 6?
It wasn't intentional. Like, you know what I mean?
Normal people give 6-year-olds a string attached to a balloon. You had one attached to a chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your first encounter with death?
That was my first and last encounter.
Is this why you
With
don't
chickens.
have pets?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, it's better in your care than my care because the chicken
You'll
won't
drown it.
the chicken won't last long in my care. Is what I'm trying to say.
Let's not assume. Sevi, what's your death count for hens?
0.
Is it less than 1? Oh, brilliant. Yeah, all right. You're in charge of Agatha.
Are we counting the ones I strangle at the weekends, or?
Josh! They're not supposed to know.
Anyway, getting back to the matter at hand, outside of Max's hilarious chicken story.
All I had left was the string that was around his neck. That's a bit. Wow. That's all
You guys are still in your tent.
D&D.
Taryn has left the tent. What are you doing, Taryn?
Well, I don't
Because
even know
it's
how to
sane
follow
outside the
that at
tent.
this point. I think, right, part of my intention was to find somewhere a bit secluded because I want to try something in terms of magic.
Okay,
Yeah, that'd be
that's
it. I want-
very easy to do.
So I want to get far enough away that nobody's going to be, like, too fucked up if it's too bad.
Yeah, you're fine. You do that. What is it you're doing now that you're out here?
Right. I want, because I'm thinking about magic and all kinds of ways that I could harness it, and thinking about the fact that I seem to feel some kind of affinity with electrical magics of sin. That kind of type. And I want to figure out a way to discharge a large amount of electricity from my body in all directions at once.
Okay.
That is the general purpose of to try and do.
Let me
Like
just
a
have
thunderwave?
look at this. I mean, pretty much. It is on
Time
the
everyone
sorcerer
talks about
list.
these, I just wanna-
Given that we don't know what we're actually going to do in terms of some sort of magic-based profession thing, I'm assuming Thunderwave is not on your list of spells currently.
No, I have Thunderclap.
Thunderclap. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Let's have a look at Thunderclap.
Can't think of that horror story.
Create a burst of thunderous sound. They can bomb. It's 0.7 throw 1d6 thunder damage. Okay. Yeah, I think for now there's not a whole lot we can do with it because we're going to need to decide how it's going to work. I'm not going to be able to just like give you access to more spells because sorcerers are balanced in a sense that they don't learn more spells like that. You get X number of spells per level, and you can't learn spells from a scroll like a wizard can. Why don't you roll me Arcana?
Yeah. Either way, in RP terms of things, I'd rather start off trying to do this shit.
Yeah,
now
that's
until,
cool. I have an idea for
one
it
day,
that if it's
he
a high
does a
enough roll.
thing.
Yeah.
He's got a thing. Just 15.
Okay. So you try combining some of the magics that you're familiar with, Thunderclap as a base, to attempt to create a sort of Thunderwave style spell. You're unsuccessful in doing so, but you think that if you stayed on this path, you would probably be able to write scrolls that would have the Thunderwave spell kind of imbued on them, but they would only be scrolls. They wouldn't be spells that you could learn, but you'd essentially have access to be able to write a spell scroll for a spell you don't have.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
But this has been unsuccessful, so that's something that if you stayed on this path, you would that's where you'd end up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After about an hour and a half, you return back to the group, the tent, to hear laughter and kind of a little bit of craziness. You see some of the other privates like carrying around numerous swords and scabbards and moving things from one position to the next and seemingly doing work. And there are the occasional jibe being thrown or, sideways look being thrown towards the tent in general. That's kind of obvious as a result of the laughs and everything coming from the tent. As you step back inside, you see Vice motioning. He has like a bit of string and he's kind of pointing at Agatha. Was that the name?
Mm-hmm.
Seemingly at the end of some kind of tail, holding a bit of string and pointing towards the hen as you step back inside.
Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Mm-hmm. You've been replaced, son.
Replaced?
Meet Agatha. No, just kidding.
Oh, I'll go then. Bye.
No, come back.
Guess
We
I'm
need
free.
you. We need you. Okay, so Mac's gone AFK. Just while we're waiting for him to come back, gonna sit down. Everyone sort of sits on the edges of their bedges. Sits on the edge of their beds. This mission is not going to be like anything we've dealt with up to now. There will probably be no combat. However, it'd be good for me to know if any of you are trained in the linguistic arts or persuasion, deception, anything.
Vice is
I-
probably
I
the
could
most
be-
charismatic. Or potentially Noelle?
I
I'm not
I
particularly
can't.
trained in it, but I'd say I'm pretty swell.
What were you saying, Namea?
I was just saying I can try.
Yeah, try.
Are there any spells that may help deceive? Or...
I have a Zone of Truth spell.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
It doesn't force them to speak, but it does require that if they're standing within the required area, that they can only speak the truth if they do.
You've never used that on me, have you?
Did we ever know specifically that she used it? Because I think
If
I
it's
think you
successful,
were
you
aware.
don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I think I was aware because I remember I tried to I recounted that time when that other guy at the Temple of Arella did a similar thing.
On a point, until the spell ends, creature that ends the spell on starts to make a charisma save. If failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. You know, the caster knows whether each creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell. You are aware of it. Okay, cool. And thus can avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth.
Okay.
So yeah, they do know.
I would've
Sorry,
known.
my bad.
I'd just
No,
sort of
fine.
point up and just be like, yeah, good spell.
Hmm.
Used on me a few times.
Okay. So the mission within the scroll is we are going to investigate the Serenity Squad. They are among us. They are part of us. And the time that we've been away, there have been a number of sabotage attempts, supplies, things have gone missing, things are broken, fires are broken out, and all evidence seems to point towards them. However, everybody in this camp, all 1,000 men, are essentially suspects. And due to the nature of these crimes, we cannot rule anybody out. So if anybody has any suggestions about how best to approach this, I'm all ears.
This is not my area of expertise, I am afraid to admit.
Well, would I? Has Vice used any of his disguisey stuffs around me?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not around you, but around the others he has.
I swear he used one of those things.
I don't remember the last time he's used disguise self.
He used it in the library mission, just before the library mission, to pretend to be a guard. Although I was there for that.
Before Taryn.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Hmm.
So I'd say probably not Taryn.
Since then. So I've noticed it.
Sorry, you're cutting in and out a bit. What did you say?
Oh, I said I know he's used invisibility a couple of times.
Yes.
While I've been around, but I don't think I noticed him
Yeah.
the time that he
But
used
still,
it.
invisibility potentially useful.
Yeah.
Okay, invisibility. We've got disguises. Hartley, your kind is known for their deception and trickery. What can you do that may, I don't know, loosen some tongues?
Nothing magically wide, but I'm pretty good at talking to people. That's it.
Okay.
She
Okay.
does have a certain charisma about her that lends well to convincing people to open up more than they may have otherwise.
Okay, cool. Very well, very good. In that case, let us go out and find Serenity Squad.
Yeah.
Before we engage them directly, it may be worth asking around a little bit and seeing what rumors there are, what everybody knows. I personally am not involved with them in any way. I don't know anything about them, but maybe one of the other squads that works with them or is affiliated with them may be able to tell us something of use.
It seems that you would probably be best placed for that, given your connections in the military. You would know perhaps who's best to ask.
Very good. There's no sense in all six of us approaching somebody and intimidating them. That makes no sense to me. So, Livia and Kavanagh, I want you to go and explore the west side of the camp. Ask around, see if you can get any useful information. Myself, Parvus, Hartley will explore the east side of the camp and do the same. And we can meet back here within 2 hours and see if we've found any leads.
What are we specifically looking for? Are we just going to, interrogate people we see or ask for rumors?
Interrogate's a strong word. Nobody's saying we torture our own men here. I certainly think that we hurt our own kin. But I think this sabotage should be well known. I mean, there's been enough incidents at this point that rumors must have started circulating. We merely have to ask around and just see what people know,
Yeah,
get
we
a
just have
feel.
to get people talking about it. See what they say when we approach them.
There's always a chance the Wood Elves are doing this to create infighting within the camp if they've discovered our location. These are their woods.
It's a valid point.
That is a very valid point. We can't rule that out either. Very good. So everybody clear on what we need to do?
Talk to people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In pairs.
Don't piss.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're an odd number of people.
We are an odd number of people. So myself, Taran, Nemea, we're going to the east.
Okay.
And Kavanagh, Livia,
And Agatha.
and Agatha. Yes, there are 6 of us. Yeah, even number. And Agatha. If you can use her, if you could use her charms to maybe get a conversation going, then all the better. Kavanagh, I understand that you're a master of disguises and invisibility, so perhaps one of you could start up a conversation while the other person, I don't know, eavesdrops. Just one suggestion. I'll leave it up to your discretion.
Cool.
Livia, roll animal handling.
Gosh. You're gonna have to do
23!
Okay. So, you go to pick up your hen, and she's just like eating some seed, and as you lift her, her like head stays where it is for a moment as she carries on eating seed, and you lift her up, and then eventually she kind of realizes what's going on, and like leans into you a little bit, and you're able to carry her around. She doesn't seem to mind you having picked her up.
Something is going to go horribly wrong.
Shut up!
Let's,
Can't deal with all this negativity.
let's enjoy it while it's around.
Ah!
Meanwhile, while she's around.
So, Asteros, Taran, and Nemea, what are you three specifically looking to go and do?
So we're going to exit the tent, and just before we go, I'm just going to turn back and say, and remember this: do not disclose what we're doing to anybody. Not Aresia, not Misha. No one must know.
So your favourites, yeah?
Shut up. play with your hen and amuse yourself. So we're gonna head to the, and I'm gonna trust the egg squad to do what they've been asked to do.
The egg squad!
The sub team.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna head to the east, and we're gonna have a look around. We're just gonna walk amongst the tents. We're gonna see everybody going about their day, and we're gonna just keep an ear to the ground and our eyes open and see what's going on.
Okay, why don't all of you give me investigation rolls twice?
Okay.
Them three, or should me invite
Them three. We haven't decided what you two are doing yet.
Yeah.
You three with the hen. 2.5.
You want 3 of these rolls? Yeah?
Like 2 each. Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
that's fine.
14 and 19.
Yeah, no worries.
Investigation,
Yeah, investigation
Nat
twice.
20!
yeah.
The power of the chicken.
11.
The chicken's not with
Hey,
you.
the chicken's with me!
Blessing of the hen.
He's given me a great boon.
She!
I see her
Yes,
as like all white.
Fuck's sake!
Like I imagine she is like, you know, blessed by your goddess that I forgot.
She's got like a slightly gold hue.
She is so best.
I have got a weird image of
Give her a
Wow.
shawl of like, you know, pure silk.
It's really difficult to find specific hen art.
Hen
Not-
D&D 5e.
Nothing comes up when I look for Agatha.
Don't touch that chicken.
Yeah, I'm not going to Google that one.
Yeah. FBI always watching.
Okay, so Nemea and hang on, Asteros. You two overhear general chatter about an accident that took place a few days ago on the path up to this clearing, where one of the cart's wheels came off, and it seemed as though it was missing the pin that like keeps the wheel in the turning, it's not a spoke, but I'm going to say spoke, bit of the cart. And there's no reason for that like wooden piece that holds the wheel on to have been removed, and it would have been quite difficult to remove. And they're sort of just saying this back and forth to each other. They don't seem to mention anyone. And then Nemea, you hear somebody else who's kind of listening into these two people's conversation just say something like, "Oh yeah, bloody Serenity," and that's what you guys hear.
Any thoughts?
Taryn, you're there too,
Yes, hello.
but you don't hear that.
No, I was putting something in the chat.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. I'm going to relay that to Taron quickly. It seems that one of the carts was sabotaged on the way here. One of the wheels was intentionally tampered with, and it came off the cart and destroyed it.
I didn't. It didn't destroy it.
Ah, you're kidding.
No.
Should we go to that location? Is it far?
Well, it
It
was.
was on the way to the clearing. So
So like several
we should-
days travel.
yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps
definitely
we should
not.
speak with whoever was driving the cart, see if they know anything.
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay, so you guys approach presumably this sort of 3 group of people. You roll history for me, all of you. That's what I need.
7.
6.
Solid.
Go on, Agatha's blessing.
Does Agatha have to roll?
so-
Not nat 20.
Agatha's not there, but it's Nemea's blessing from Agatha. So,
Such a valued member of the team already.
Asteros and Taryn, you two look at this dwarven fellow like you definitely remember him, but you don't really remember why. Asteros, you don't really care for anyone, so like this is just another Starvin military member that you like haven't bothered to like link a name to the face. You know the face, but you don't really care much more than that. Nemea, you remember speaking to a dwarven fellow that came past your tent back when Starvin hadn't gone into the forest yet. The main force of the military hadn't gone into the forest yet. By the name of Durjek Crushhammer. He is a corporal.
Yes.
A younger dwarf fellow that seemed to have nothing against Asteros and was generally looking to make a bit of a name for himself, but is ultimately a little bit maybe aggressive in his eagerness. You guys are going to have to use words if you want to have a conversation with him, just letting you know.
Yes. We should do that.
Mostly wait for Astros to lead.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so we'll approach Durjek. And, yeah, I'll put out my hand. Crushhammer, good to see you again. How was the journey?
Oh, yes, Asteros, it wasn't too bad, you know, a lot of stuff to move, but it's okay.
I heard you had a little trouble on the road there.
Oh, he kind of looks where you're motioning as you say this. It's like, oh, that. No, I wasn't to do that. I wasn't near it, but I heard about it. There's a group, some of the privates working for a sergeant like yourself, having a bit of trouble. Came back after a while. I don't know too much about them. Stupid name. They met some guy out on mission and named themselves after his house or something like that. We don't
Do you
tend
know where
to.
they are?
Yeah, I believe so. Like I was saying, we don't really tend to have squads named after things like that. Like you have to think up a name so that your squad name can appear on the ledger if you're dealing with Kristen or something like that. But people usually call themselves like Alpha or something like that, an Elvish word or something, usually taking the piss. I know they're over in the south side of the clearing. I think that's where they've set up. Although if their involvement in the military is anything to go by, they've probably done a fucking pig's ear of it.
No doubt. Tell me, do you know of any... I've heard there's been a number of incidents recently. Is there anything else that you may have heard? Not necessarily related?
I heard that the general consensus is that they're a sort of group of low-level fuck-ups, but I'm only aware of the one with the cart. I had a few people helping me with something I was working on, and they had to fuck off and help them, so it was a bit annoying, but nothing too serious. I can't complain. Sergeant?
Just so I'm understanding this clearly, are you saying that one of the Serenity squad was driving the cart?
No, I think they were just alongside it, guiding it.
Right. Do you happen to know who it was that was driving the cart?
I don't, I'm afraid.
No.
I suspect one of them will.
Very good. Anyone else want to say anything?
Wouldn't hurt to go past them. Might as well go up front. Get a sort of, I don't know, good view of what kind of people they are.
Okay.
We shouldn't ask too many people in case the people responsible find out we're looking for them. Then they would, hide themselves.
True.
So we should target the one person we want to talk to next.
They could have a wider net than just this one squad.
Definitely.
Yes, that's a good point. Very good. Dismiss, Crushhammer, and thank you very much for your help.
Hey, thanks, Sergeant. Have a good one.
Okay.
Livia and Vice, what are you two doing? You end up leaving a little bit later as you spend some time wrangling the hen.
Okay, so I can't remember where Astros, what direction he told us to go in. What direction did
I
they
think
go
he said
in?
west. I think he said west.
We went east.
Okay, so we're gonna head west, and yeah, so we'll start off doing the same thing, I guess. See if we can hear anyone talking about what happened.
Roll me investigation, please. Twice, the both of you.
Investigation.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, ignore that.
Excuse me. Oh.
Agatha has a -4 to intelligence, but unfortunately she has no way to convey what she sees or hears, so... Vice,
Let's
roll
see
again?
good rolls, though.
Or is your roll the 19 above
I
Livia's?
rolled 19.
19 and 6.
19 and 22. Okay, cool. So similar stuff. You guys hear talk of a number of different people and what they're up to. There's mention of a job to investigate the lake, and that nobody's sort of willing to get that wet and potentially fuck up their gear. And it hasn't been forced on anyone yet. So there's just sort of musings that that the higher ups are looking for somebody to take it on. And you think you overhear two people kind of complaining that neither one of them wants to do it, and that maybe they should just station some men near the lake and hope that kind of covers it. And that's kind of it as you're heading in.
Vice, I was thinking maybe
Yeah.
the best way to try and find out the information is just go straight to the source. What if we found out who they are and where they are, and then I could approach them maybe and just say, I don't know, we can come up with a way for me to approach them and bring up whatever's happened, the cart incident.
You don't know about the cart incident.
Oh, do we not? I thought she told us about that at the beginning.
It was part of the scroll, wasn't it?
No, there's been general sabotages, but we've just found out about the wagon specifically on our side.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought she'd mentioned it. Okay, then. Well, maybe once we found out some information about something they've done or potentially could have been accused of, we can just approach them and ask them about it. And then I was thinking what you could do. Oh, it's up to you. But I was thinking you could just turn and do your little earwiggy thing.
Okay.
And turn invisible. And then when I leave, they're bound to talk about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
it's a
Like,
good
if we
idea.
go up and be
No,
like,
that's a
if I
good
go up
idea,
and say,
Dan.
"Oh, I heard you had some involvement in that." No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh, well, just letting you know, heads up that, that's what they're thinking. I've heard people talking. Then they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know what you're on about." But surely, then once I go, they're all then going to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. The good plan. Good plan. I mean, last time no, I think it's a good plan. I mean, the last time actually it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, no, sure,
Sorry?
no, that's fine. No, it's okay.
What are you talking about?
I was just thinking about the last time I went invisible and what I overheard.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But that was quite some time ago.
Yeah. Well,
so yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, let's
just find them, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. But the only thing is how do we kind of pinpoint what squad
Well, yeah, that is the first part.
That's the problem.
Find out who they are.
Because there's quite a few squads here as I look around.
Yeah, you're looking at like hundreds of men
Yeah.
and women.
Um,
And
Is
different
it maybe
races.
worth?
Maybe there's some
you
sort
find
of
out?
like place where there's got to be somewhere where they check in, like a register or something.
Roll history.
Or potentially like with a quartermaster. There must be someone who knows where everyone is so that they can coordinate.
Who's rolling? Is it?
You both can. You're having the conversation.
Oh man, my history, man.
Like there's got to be someone.
Do you remember like you jump? Yes. So Vice, you don't remember. If anything, whilst you like as you look up to sort of think about it for a second, you like lazily lower your head back down and you notice that the hen is just staring at you. And you like get caught in this odd staring war between you and the hen, and it like turns its head sideways slightly, and you end up kind of doing it yourself.
Vice.
Before Olivia says to you that she remembers speaking to Kristen and the fact that he holds a ledger of all the squad names so that they can be assigned. What's the word for it? Like whenever somebody buys something from him, it has to be attributed to the squad leader.
Yes, that's true. Yes, let's go find Tristan. He'll at least be able to give us some names
Kristen.
or a name.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
on.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm totally down for it. I'm just trying to think about how we can, how we can pinpoint which squad. Like we're looking for a squad that sabotaged wagons, right?
You
we
still don't know about the wagon.
Oh, we don't know about the
know,
wagons.
all we know is the
We
squad
know-
name, and we know that there's been some sabotaging going on, and that their name has been linked to it, but there's no evidence.
What was it? What was the squad name?
What was the squad name?
Serenity.
Yeah.
Oh, Serenity?
Yeah.
Serenity? Was it Serenity or Serenity?
Serenity Squad.
Okay.
Serenity. Can you write that down, Vice, so we don't
Yes,
forget?
I'm doing that right now.
Brilliant.
Sorority.
So we just need a
The
good
frat
excuse to tell Tristan why
Kristen.
we need why we write that down, Vice. Kristen.
Oh yeah, I've got his name.
Such a mess.
I've had his name for a while. But Josh always gets there before me, correcting you.
So we need a good reason. Why would we be asking him the ledger names? Could we say who was the woman that we spoke to? Ferdy? We could say that Ferdy needs us to collect something from them.
Collect all information on
A report, maybe just a report
on
Or-
purchases that the Serenity Squad have made recently.
Yes. No, because we can't tell anyone about it. Maybe we can just say to him, we're looking for the leader's name because we need to find him because we have been tasked to go and help his squad with something.
Yeah, but surely he would ask, shouldn't we know who the squad leader is? If we've been asked-
We'll
if
just
we've
play
been asked to
Mastros.
help
We'll
him.
just say that he forgot to tell us his name and walked off.
Actually, yeah, he would believe that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just be like, he was like, go find the Serenity Squad. You need to help them, and then stormed off with Nemea, and then we'll be like, he didn't even tell us his name. We
Okay,
don't
yeah,
look like
sure.
idiots, you know.
He's
wandering
always off
around.
with that tiefling that he loves.
Yeah, he's always yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go find Kristen.
Kristen. Yeah, let's go find Kristen.
So it doesn't take
Other
much.
members.
Doesn't take much searching to come by the quartermaster. You do have to walk for a fair bit longer, about an hour, I would say, before you eventually track him down. Asking the occasional person, you pass dwarves, humans, half elves, and eventually make your way through and find Kristen. It's at about this time that the other three of you have made it about an hour kind of south of where you were, and you're nearing a rough general location of where you believe Serenity Squad is working out of when Livia and Vice find Kristen. he turns to you both and is just like, "Oh, hello. You didn't get everything yesterday that you needed."
Oh, actually, we were hoping, Christian, that you could
Kristen.
Kristen, damn it! I tried so hard.
Kristen.
That's just not normal. Anyway, we
Give
were
us the
hoping
cage.
You would be able to help us. You've been so kind and helpful to us since we've been here.
Yes, I did ask. They said that if you're willing to pay much more than they're worth, that they'd spare one for you because they'd have to make one. I was going to come back later
brilliant.
when I was free. Sorry, that is what you mean, I assume.
It wasn't, but that is great to
Oh,
know.
I'm
and
sorry.
I would be willing to do that. How much are they worth? Do you know?
Not a lot. A few silver. They said that
2 gold suffice.
they wanted 3.
3 gold. That is
gold.
it. Deal. I will give you 3 gold for a beautiful cage for my baby.
It's not my trade, you see. I'm not profiting off this. I feel a little bit
Are
inclined
you
to tell
not
you.
getting anything from this?
No, I'm just working as a middleman. But I feel the need to point out that you're getting really ripped off in this deal.
Oh yes, I'm sure. No, don't worry. I'm well aware of that, Kristen.
Maybe it's not that bad that you buy the cage.
Well,
Nervier.
That's I like that. You got a sense of humour. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Yes, I am well aware they're ripping me off. However, I need a cage, and for the convenience, I'm willing to pay it. Also, I know that we've been a bit of a pain in the arse to you, so I'll give you an extra gold just to say thank you for your services. Let me knock that off.
You hear a woman in the background who seems to be lugging about part of his stuff. A slightly older woman, not old by any sense, and quite muscly, just kind of shouts over, "Take it!" And he looks over at her and is like, "Yes, thank you, dear. I was going to, actually." And he turns back to Olivia and goes, "Thank you very much, miss. I'll make sure to bring it over to your tent later. I'll make sure that they make it a large one. Would that be good, or is that going to be more
yes, some
cumbersome?"
extra space. That would be wonderful. And if they could throw in any, like just a little bit of hay or straw in the bottom, that would be great.
Well, yes, I could come across that. And he kind of looks at his wares and he's like, "I've got some. I'll put some in there. That's fine."
Oh, thank you so much. What we actually came here for, although that was very helpful and unexpected, was some information. We're hoping our sergeant, and I'm going to look at Vice like sergeant's correct, right? Because I don't fucking know. Our sergeant,
Asteros,
yes.
So, Asteros, yes. Well, he has sent us on a mission. Well, sort of more of an errand to go and find the Serenity Squad. Oh my god, what is wrong with me today?
Serenity. Yeah.
Oh, wait, yes,
Yes.
So, but
I believe I
unfortunately,
remember the name.
he was in somewhat of. He's had an irksome day and was not in a great mood.
But already, it's not that late.
Well, that is what he's like. But not that I would speak badly of him, of course. But either way, he did walk off without giving us their names. And we know that you obviously know everyone here, and we were hoping that maybe you could point us in the direction of them or give us their names so that we could not avoid embarrassing ourselves further by asking everyone around.
I do. I could certainly dig it out, but I know that Ezekiel knows one of them, and he looks over at her and is like, "Excuse me," and she looks over at him and is like, "You know one of those Serenity lot, don't you, dear?" And she looks back at him and is like, "Oh yeah, Raina. She's a good laugh. I like that girl. Bit impetuous, but she likes a drink." And he looks back at you and is like,
Vice, write down Raina, and
Raina? Was it Raina?
yeah, and write down that word impetuous because I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Here's you kind of
I'm just there with like.
And I believe it's Raina.
Raina, was it? Oh, okay.
Rainah. I don't know. And he turns back over to her and she's like, "Short girl, human, kind of bob, brown hair rather.
Okay.
She didn't brown it. That would be weird. She'll probably have a drink in her hand."
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is a woman's
Do you know
voice, just so you know.
do you know anything of the squad themselves? we're not too sure how best to approach them. We don't want to upset anyone or.
As far as I'm concerned, everyone's a patron of my goods, and I have nothing to say about them.
Okay.
I believe they've had some troubles getting here, but that's all. I'm not one to get involved in gossip. Asteros
okay.
is a
No,
sterling
that's fine.
sergeant. The Serenity Squad are a very successful squad.
Oh, okay. But do you know? Would you point us in their direction, or do you not know?
Oh, wait, will I travel around? I've not seen them today, and I've come from the eastern district of the encampment
okay.
here, and I'm about halfway through west, so they're not
The other
in
way.
the northeast.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. You've been so helpful.
So as you guys head away from Ezekiel and Kristen at their cart, presumably heading kind of more west-ish, the other three of you are closing in on their likely location in the south. I'm doing this mostly for the notes so that we know where the fuck everyone is next session. But that is where we will end tonight's session.
Aww.
No. Vice, next week you're doing the talking.
Well, you really. I mean, you did a great job, Olivia. I'm not gonna lie, you did.
Thanks,
You
babes.
seem like you were really in control and completely.
I was
involved,
trying, but
Didn't
like
forget a single
So
name.
I was like,
Yeah.
I
That's all.
suck with names.
Not even
like,
once.
so bad.
No,
suck
it's
with
okay.
names.
It's like I mentioned, it's fine.
You're so-
Everyone mistook Elkus for Lael for like, what, 2 months?
Yeah, it was really
Exactly.
difficult to stop calling Elkas Lael for the longest time.
And you're just much more, charismatic and charming. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I get that, but you, like I said, like you didn't really give me a chance. I didn't even have an opportunity to get in there. You were
That's fair.
So-
I
so-
panicked.
so
I
in
panicked.
there. So I just left you to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna
You
cut
didn't
us
need
off.
my help.
Thanks, stream. See you next
Bye.
Tuesday.
Thanks,
Bye, stream.
I put all of our videos on YouTube until we get enough subscribers. We don't have like a specific URL, but I put it in the Twitch chat earlier. So if you want to watch the VODs, if you're not caught up, it's in there. Otherwise, this is Bela'Dun and beyond. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, guys.
Bye.
See you then.
Bye.